action on Tim's Corner Motorsports is presented by Pache Motors, the largest Ram truck dealer in Atlantic Canada. Browse their inventory online at pachemotors.com. Tranquility. Help for anxiety is only a click away. Learn more by visiting tranquility.app. Finish Line Vinyl Design, the official decal supplier of Tim's Corner Motorsports. Like them on Facebook at facebook.com/finishline vinyl design. And by CB Warren's Auto Care.
Got it. Welcome back, everybody, to Vidane TV. Little Saturday night action. Saturday night's all right for fighting. Saturday night's all right for racing here at Talladega Super Speedway. Sweet home Talladega, as a lot of the drivers in here say. Tim's Corner Motorsports putting on another special event here. The SummerSlam Part 2. Showtime Paul Strickland Jr. up here in the commentary booth as well as the production trailer. Two places at once. Pretty easy to do in these pandemic times when everything's controlled by Zoom. Not up here alone. Kevin England, my good friend for a very long time. Been around one of the godfathers here of sim racing and broadcasting. Kevin, how are we doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How are we doing?
Not too bad. Now, actually jumped into the truck here. We're running the trucks at Talladega Super Speedway. I was able to jump into the practice session a little bit earlier with these Tim's Corner Motorsports guys, and it is definitely a fixed setup, and these guys are able to really kind of show each other how they drive. And there's a lot of updates with the iRACING service as well. A lot of drivers talking about the pad, the air pad, kind of on the outside wall. You're able to really get up close to that wall without scraping into it. And a lot of updates to the tires and aerodynamics as well. So a lot of unknowns heading into tonight's race. First race of two here on Vidane TV. We're doing a little bit of doubleheader action, a double-double if you will. We're running the Tim's Corner race now, and at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time tonight, we're going to be running the Sim 500 Vidane Racing Series race number 4. That's going to be the Rent-A-Race Car 150. Also, right here at Talladega, going to be running the old Car of Tomorrow Cup cars, and they have no restrictor plates. So a lot of unknowns heading into that race as well. I actually overheard a couple of drivers talking about the qualifying before that event. Going to be a little bit tricky to qualify here at Talladega, the 2.66 mile super speedway, without a restrictor plate. Really gives those cars a lot of unknowns heading into it. Some drivers may have to lift, and some drivers may run high. Some drivers may run 1 lap, 2 laps. A lot of different strategies heading into it, Kevin.
Yeah, in this race here tonight, I ran a truck race at Talladega yesterday, and I know that the sim has done an update. The trucks are a little bit different, but for the most part, the good news is the track is smooth, the track is wide, there's a lot of room to compensate. And really, it's just about trying to pick and choose your way through the stack to get yourself up front for the end and try and get yourself a win. And part 2, this is the second race for Talladega for me over the weekend, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do here.
Yeah, these drivers at Tim's Corner Motorsports always put on a fantastic show here, and a little bit of a gauntlet's been laid down. You'll see a couple of new names that may not have run with the Tim's Corner Motorsports events here throughout the entire pandemic. That's because we put on a little bit of a challenge here of Vidane TV. Any Tim's Corner Motorsports driver is welcome to run the Sim 500 Vidane Super Speedway race later on tonight, and vice versa. So a little bit of cross promotion here between the two leagues. Pretty excited to see that. Pretty excited to see just some of the heads-up battles that we're going to be able to see throughout the evening here, and the Tim's Corner SummerSlam Part 2 and the Rent-A-Race Car 150 here later on tonight.
So you talk to someone who's a beekeeper through and through, and I would call that cross-pollination.
Cross-pollination. There we go.
So this racetrack's a lot of fun because it's one of those where you can run 3 wide comfortably. You can be right up against the outside wall with trucks to your inside and not feel like at any moment you're in peril. And that gives the opportunity, Paul, to jump up there and try to make some moves. If you got a good run, one of the most frustrating things with running, say, Daytona is you got to jam on the brakes, let off the gas. Here, you don't have to. You have plenty of racetrack. You can go to the apron, you can go to the fence and make that move go, and we should see some exciting racing here tonight at Talladega.
for sure. We're going to be taking the top 8 in the qualifying, the time trials there, and you can see the ticker scrolling across the screen right now. The top 8 are going to be locked into the main event here tonight, and then we're going to be running heat races, taking 8 from each of those as well. So it's going to be a stacked field right now. Taking a look right now, the number 10 Tide Machine of Richard Beasley currently holds on to the pole. Brent Roy, sending league from NEPS, New England, Pennsylvania iRacing Group. He's holding on to that second position, and right now P3 belongs to the 05. That's going to be Chantel Pottle. Put on a great show a couple nights ago here on Vidane TV in the Eastbound Esports League race, the last chance qualifier, racing her way in to the main show that night. So stacked field here tonight. A lot of drivers that are really looking to kick off and really looking to get a win here tonight.
20 seconds left in qualifying. We'll be able to bring everybody to the grid and get this thing underway in short order. It's one of those things, Paul, where you have to make a decision. If you qualify up front, hopefully you can start up front and stay safe up front. This track always known for the big one. If you qualify out back, you got to decide whether you could run up front and get there and hide, or whether you should just kind of hang out in the back and see if you could avoid the melee.
Absolutely, and almost every single time that I've tried to pick one of those things in my own racing career, I always choose the wrong one.
Yeah, that's always the case, right? If you go for yin, you end up with yang, and we see a pretty big field here tonight. Drivers have to be anticipating getting the start, and they're coming to the grid right now, and we'll let you give the lineup there, Paul.
Absolutely. Taking a look, heat race number 1, starting on the pole. Craig Kenny in the number 90. I was actually racing with him earlier on, doing a little bit of drafting with him there in the earlier afternoon practice. So definitely going to be a very quick machine in the draft. Matthew Barkhouse, number 28. He's going to be on the outside of him. Starting in row number 2, that's going to be Jason Goss in a 41, always fast wherever he goes, and not so much a newcomer to Tim's Corner Motorsports. We've seen him in the past, but we haven't seen him in a long time. The number 40 of Chad Coleman coming over from Sim 500. He's going to be racing, and he's going to be starting 4th in this first heat race. Behind them, starting P5, Colin Matthews, and outside of him, Tanton Wooldridge in the number 56. He plans on making the double here tonight, trying to race in both tonight's Tim's Corner Motorsports Part 2, SummerSlam Part 2, and the Renner Race Car race later on tonight. 7th and 8th are going to belong to Bob Hutchings and Owen Mahar, respectively. 9th place, Daniel Vitch. Ryan Walsh is going to round out the top 10. Good looking paint scheme there for the number 19 of Ryan Walsh. Mike Rhino and the 34, starting 11th. Todd Tufts, Tony Wright, Brandon Campbell, Cam Delaney, and Mark Williams going to round out the 16 truck field. I got to put a couple of nickels in the jar there, Kevin. I've called these trucks cars about a half a dozen times already.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll all be collecting and we'll be eating bubble gum at the end of this, because we'll have plenty to go down to the dime store and get some.
Either that or I'm going to be ramen, because I'm going to be all out of quarters at the end of the night.
Yeah, so the truck's rolling around here. It looks like everybody able to get to the grid. And, you know, with this many trucks, it should be pretty competitive. You have the ability, again, to run high, run low. And you can even run in the middle and be pretty comfortable with it. So it should be fun to see who's going to come, who's going to go, as we get this thing kicked off in just about half a lap.
Absolutely. And one thing to bear in mind that these drivers really have to pay attention to where they're starting and where they're finishing in this heat race, because they want to start, or they want to finish in the top 8, because they definitely want to make the main show here, the big race later on. But they also want to make sure that they qualify up towards the front of the pack in that race, because right now we've got 16 trucks. We're going to about double that when we get down to the final, the feature event here tonight.
As they come around here to drop off the banking out of turn number 4, they'll lose the pace car. It'll head to pit road, and it'll be up to Richard Beasley in the red and black tracker number 90 to take the field. Now, of course, we're at Talladega, so they have to go through the tri-oval, and then they'll see the starter just past the curve and be able to get that green flag and come up through the gears.
Giving him a nice slow start here is Kenny in the number 90 machine. 28, Matthew Barkhouse on the outside. Waiting. Green flag is in the air. There they go. Hammer down. Making their way up through the gears. Still side by side up front. Looks like the 41 truck of Goss slept just a little bit there on the restart or on the start. But a great start. There you see Chad Coleman on the out. Check that. That's not Chad Coleman. That's the 38 truck. Oh, car truck down low. 56. 15 involved. 19 involved as well. Looks like the back half of the pack here involved in a mix-up. Doesn't look like we're having a caution, and I don't believe we have cautions here in these heat races, Kevin.
Yeah, 4 trucks went to the fence. They're all smoking, which means they got considerable damage. We saw one other truck have damage over there on the start. They all got kind of accordion and checked up. The 99 of Brandon Campbell, that Tide Chevrolet truck is smashed in the back. Well, it looks like it's going to be okay. The front of it seems to be okay, and that's what really counts. Is this has stretched the field out, and the top group has broken away.
There you see Chad Coleman seems to have found his place in 6th place right now. In the back of this pack just a bit, but he's got able to hold on just a little bit to the draft. Matthew Barkhouse currently the leader. Craig Kenny behind him. Jason Goss and Owen Mahar in the 101 truck. All running bumper to bumper. Those guys know that really they just have to stay where they're at in that top 6 position and hold on to a top 8 finishing position rather to make this big show here later on.
Yeah, Chad Coleman sitting in that 6th position. I think he's close enough to pull the draft. I'm not sure about Mike Rhino in the number 34. He might drop off a little bit, and then he's going to have to count on some of those trucks behind him coming up and collect them, see if they can get nose to tail and run everybody down. But up front, we've got a swap for the lead. The number 90 truck of Craig Kenny drops back, and it is Matthew Barkhouse in the number 28 out front. Always out front, is he not?
Always out front in just about everything he runs. A lot of short tracks, a little bit of road course racing, and some super speedway racing as well. So doing a really good job there. Matthew Barkhouse in the 28 truck holding off Kenny Kibbe. Lap number 3 in the books, working lap number 4. 10 laps is the distance here in this first heat race of the evening.
See Mike Rano in the number 34. He's dropped back. He's lost that group. He's just going to have to ride there by himself. There's not a lot of competition out his back mirror, so if he just paces himself, I think he'll be okay. Up front, Colin Matthews just a little bit off this front pack is Chad Coleman. He's comfortably sitting there in the 5th position, and if I know Chad, he's going to be happy to ride there, but come the end of this, he's going to make a couple moves and see if he can get himself a victory in this heat race.
Beautiful kickassbeefjerky.com sponsored ride there for Chad Coleman. Good looking truck, good looking Toyota Tundra. You can actually check out kickassbeefjerky.com. Use promo code SIM500 for 19% off. Get you a bag of beef jerky. I'm telling you, that stuff is awesome, Kevin. I pretty much every time we run a replay here at Vidane TV, grab us a nice piece of kick-ass beef jerky and chow down on it while we wait for the tapes to rewind.
If you go back to that first lap crash, Hutchins, Vetch, Woolridge, and Ryan Walsh all involved. Walsh in that bright colored number 19 that we talked about. He's 2 laps down, and they're pretty much written off. Top 13 still on the lead lap. You've got the top 7 cars within 3 seconds of the leader, then 9 seconds back to the Mark Williams number 42, and then 10 seconds back. So those 2 behind him, 9th and 10th respectively, Brandon Campbell and Todd Tufts. The 42, the 99, and 72 all coming together as a group. And then you have 19 seconds back to Tony Wright in the 09. And right now they are passing a couple of these slower lap cars, the ones involved in that incident in turn number 1. And for these guys out in the back haul, I think they're going to have to hope that some of these leaders somehow find trouble in the incident.
It's going to be really tough to do, especially if there's only 5 or 6 trucks in that lead pack, kind of bumper to bumper, nose to nose. They all know that they're trying to transfer into the main show here tonight, and they all know that right now they're currently safe. As made mention earlier, we're taking the top 8 of each of these heat races. So it is definitely possible these guys could make a mistake, but a little bit on the unlikely side. You can see everybody's kind of working together to get around the lap traffic, and it's actually, there's a little bit of a change up front. Craig Kenny, the new leader there on the number 90, had some sort of issue for the number 28 truck of Matthew Barkhouse, who gave up the lead and kind of slipped way back. It almost looks like he's dropping back to kind of pick up Mike Rhino here. These guys work together a lot in the Tim's Corner Motorsports races. Not technically teammates, I don't believe, but may just be going back to pick up his fellow countrymen and see if they can kind of work their way up towards back towards the front of this pack.
Yeah, this front pack hasn't decided to ride. You see a big wiggle out of Owen Mahar just a moment ago off of turn number 4. He's got plenty of racetrack to chase the car up. And right in front of him, the 90, Craig Kenny, that truck is wrinkled on that right rear. It looks like he's gotten against the fence or against another competitor, but still holding the lead. Wow, they are so tight going through the banking here.
There you see a little bit of a door contact between the 101 and the number 90 of Mahar and Kenny. Kenny down low, Mahar up top. And that's one of those updates that you saw with iRacing, just came out this week. A little bit of an aerodynamic update where you can really get up to the either another truck, another car, or even the wall. And there's a padding of air that kind of separates the two. So really a little bit of a wiggle there from the Mahar machine. Sees he loses just a little bit, backs up to the front bumper of Chad Coleman. And there you see the 37 car going a lap down. Daniel Fitch getting caught up in that earlier incident. But gonna be interesting to see what these drivers can do in a big pack, especially with that new aero update from iRacing, the simulation this week.
Did you hear the sound of the coin dropping in the jar there?
A couple of times, yeah. We're gonna have to. I might just drop my PayPal card in there at this point.
Tanton Woolridge, he's 2 laps down, but he was able to hang on. When these trucks drive around the outside of a slower truck, if the truck is not damaged, 3, 4, 5 trucks, they can pick up another slower truck. And Tanton Woolridge, he's 2 laps down, but he's right here running with them. And, you know, what you see with these trucks, they don't just ride. This is the difference between a sim and a game. The sim, they go down the truck, and the truck is buffeting in the wind, especially when you're back in the 4th, 5th position. It's wiggling back and forth. You're literally driving down the straightaway trying to keep the truck heading in the right direction. If you give a little tap to the truck in front of it, it will pull forward and then pull you forward, but you have to be really careful not to be bump drafting on the turns.
Absolutely, and it's really one of those things too, Kevin, where you have to work with someone you're comfortable with working with. A lot of drivers, sometimes you'll be able to get right up in the back bumper, give them a little bit of a push in the straightaway, and they'll move right up. But unfortunately, there's some drivers that don't quite work well with others. There you see the 101 not really working well with the number 90. Gets up in the corner and spins him on around. 90 car is going to lose the transfer spot, and he turns into another driver as well. Not really sure what's going on with all that mess, but a lot of that looked intentional, unfortunately.
You also see the 90 just trying to pull off. He got the truck turned around, but several of the drivers that were running behind him are going past, and that's going to drop the first place truck back to, 7th, 8th, 9th, and I see a little smoke coming out of it. So this is what we had talked about just a moment ago, is if some of these front runners have some problems, it opens the door for some of these other guys who continue to soldier along.
Taking a look at the leader right now, Jason Goss. The white flag is in the air. We've got about a half a lap, maybe 3/4 of a lap to go. Jason Goss slowly working his way up to that lap car, and there you see we made mention of him earlier already. Chad Coleman right there where he needs to be at the end of the race, coming up on the number 15 truck of Bob Hutchings. They're going to get around him on the middle lane. Get around him, no problem. Chevy out front, Toyota running second. Who's going to take it? Coming to the checkered flag. You see Chad Coleman jumping out on the outside. Has a big run trying to get around the number 41 car, but it doesn't look like he's going to have enough steam to get there. Side by side, door to door, coming to the checkered flag. Chad Coleman on the outside, Jason Goss on the inside. Coming to the stripe, give it to Jason Goss. Jason Goss going to take home. No, give it to Chad Coleman by 0.017 of a second. Chad Coleman going to win heat race number 1. Jason Goss second. Colin Matthews third. Mike Rhino fourth. Matthew Barkhouse is going to finish fifth. Mark Williams, Brandon Camel, Todd Tufts, your transfers on to later on this evening. And then Craig Kenny, Tony Wright rounding out the top 10. Owen Mahar, you saw he had some kind of issues there. Finishes 11th. Bob Hutchings 12th. Daniel Vitch, Tanton Woolridge, Ryan Walsh, and Campbell Delaney rounding out the field here tonight. So congratulations to Chad Coleman, the winner of heat race number 1 here. Gonna be a good qualifying effort. Looks like he's gonna be starting 9th here in the feature later on tonight.
Yeah, we know Chad can get the job done. He's so good at these restrictor plate. He's smooth. He knows the right timing, and he knows how to get everything sorted out. And I went back and looked at that incident on the back straightaway. It looked like there was a contest for the lead, and the truck just drifted up, caught the corner of the 90, turned it sideways. That was Mahar. And then as Mahar was going down the straightaway, Tanton Woolridge came down to the truck, almost looked like he was side drafting it, and got a little sideways, tapped the back of the truck, turned Mahar around. So, yeah, that's just restrictor plate racing. Unfortunate for those guys up in the front. But here we are, set for race number 2, heat number 2. Quentin Carpenter is on the pole, number 18, 22 of Greg Snellgrove, starting in second row. Dave Horton in the 73, going to start third starting spot. On his outside, Todd Cousins in the number 2. Tyler Holohan in the number 88 starts in that 5th position. And you got to keep an eye on this guy. The 75 of Mike Alexander starts in 6th slot. Joey Steers in the 23 starts 7th. Nick Poitier in the 38 starts in that 8th position. 9th starting spot for Kyle Young. Yep, that's that Kyle Young. And Noah Healy in the 84 starts 10th. Scott Drost in the 45, 11th. Andrew Tatry in the number 06 starts in the 12th position. Lucky 13th starting spot for Terry Dugas. And it looks like Jake Goodwin, if he makes a call, in that 14th starting spot in the number 24 truck.
And starting shotgun on the field right there, Nathan Tatry in the number 30 truck, going to be starting 13th. So another 16 truck field here. And speaking of that, Kyle Young getting ready to take the green flag for heat race number 2. We're going to see if we can get down there in his ear. Kyle Young, you get a copy.
All right, how we doing, boys?
Good, man. Hey, yeah, we're giving you the night off here in the broadcast booth. So what do? You go out and race, getting ready to take the green flag. What do you got for him?
Man, not very happy with that qualifying run. Apparently, things have changed since I've been a big time iRacer, and I made myself look like a fool. So, the good thing is that we're not far out of a transfer spot here. I think we're just gonna put the pedal to the metal and try to stay in the whole way. Saw some wrecks early on there. If we can avoid that, stay clean. Hopefully, we can get in this thing.
Cool deal. Well, good luck from us here at Vidane TV. We will talk to you later on tonight.
Thanks, guys. Have fun.
That's Kyle Young, the driver of the number 93 truck, Silverado, here this evening. Usually up here in the commentary booth, running the race here tonight. So he's going to try and make his way in. Attempting the double here tonight, trying the Tim's Corner Motorsports SummerSlam Part 2. And later on, he's going to be running the Sim 500 Vidane TV Super Speedway Series to rent a race car 150, also here at Talladega. But he raced number 2, getting ready to kick it off. There you see the pace car making that left-hand turn, working his way down pit road, and these 16 trucks lined up 2 by 2 all the way through, waiting for that green flag to drop.
Snellgrove on the outside, looking at Carpenter to his left, waiting for him to kick that throttle. Green flag is thrown. They have not jumped on it, and now they go up through the gears, across the start-finish line. Snellgrove grabs the gear. You see flames belch out of the right side as they head into the banking for the first time here, heat race number 2. It is a 10-lap dash, no cautions, and these drivers just want to get to the backstretch cleanly and see if they can get themselves into the starting field for tonight's feature.
Big time wiggle there on the start for the 06 of Andrew Tatry, but it looks like he was able to gather everything back up and get that thing pointed in the right direction. A couple of drivers made a little bit of contact, but not too bad at all. No harm, no foul. So the lead's still going to hold on to the number 18, Quentin Carpenter. Dave Horton is right behind him in the 3rd place truck. Tyler Hallahan, 1, 2, 3. Now add Kyle Young. Worked his way up to 4th single file. Throw a blanket over top of them. They're right that close.
Come across the stripe to finish lap number 1 just in a second, and click. Going to lap number 2. Snellgrove from his outside starting spot, stuck on the outside. He's drifted back a little bit. He's back to that 5th position. All the trucks wobble and wiggle through the corner down there on the bottom. Snellgrove would probably like to see a hole in the bottom or some help out the back mirror. He's got Todd Cousins in the number 2 right behind him as they draw close, and now they get a little steam going down the back straightaway for that outside lane as they're tucked nose to tail on the inside straight through to about 7th or 8th.
They weeble, they wobble, they don't fall down. Well, for the most part, a lot of drivers side by side. We heard some of the guys talking about practicing the 3 wide moves in practice earlier on tonight. A lot of drivers a big fan of that upper high line. Right now, you can see the 22 Snellgrove trying to make it happen there in the middle lane, but it looks like the 2, that's going to be the Miller Machine, and the 24 of Goodwin trying to make the high line happen as well. Don't think either one of those lines is going to be able to kick up enough steam to get going around that lower line. Everybody seems to be hooked up a little bit cleaner start here in the second heat race, Kevin. Everybody's kind of bumper to bumper, just riding right now. Lap number 3 in the books, working lap number 4, 10 laps the distance here in the second heat race.
Yeah, I'm positive these guys were sitting on the grid watching that first heat race. They know what happened over there in turn 1. They gave a little more breathing room, but yeah, business is about to pick up. They're really tight. I see a shoulder go up there as the 84 of Noah Healy went into turn number 3, went up, bounced the truck on the outside of him up, and that cleared out the Greg Snellgrove truck running out there all by his lonesome as they're tucked nose to tail about 1 through 10. There's a couple trucks kind of hanging out in the back, the 23 of Joey Steers and Mike Alexander in the 75. They must be anticipating something's going to happen and hoping they're going to stay out of it.
We've seen those 2 drivers work together before, Kevin. Joey Stiers and Mike Alexander. Magic Mike and the number 75, that Xander Signs machine. Just kind of back there, they still have the lead draft. They're able to kind of work together, and with this particular build in iRacing, the trucks at Talladega, you can really hook up with 2 trucks together and make up a lot of ground. So that may very well be the strategy here for the number 23 as well as the number 75 truck. Waiting to see what this pack's going to do. It doesn't look like anything's too racy right now. As we can see, the entire pack kind of single file, clicking off laps and seeing where they're going to end up here with 5 laps to go. Crossing the line right now, still give the lead to Quentin Carpenter, leading halfway.
14 drivers in this lead pack. Those 2 in the back, Stiers and Alexander, just a little bit off, but I think still within striking distance. As now the outside lane tries to form. 30 of Nathan Tatry is tucked on the back bumper of Andrew Tatry. And on the charge is Jake Goodwin in the Napa Auto Care Silverado, trying to make that outside line work. But up front, it continues to be Carpenter leading with Horton and his tire tracks, Hallahan, Young, and Dross in your top 5 comfortably nose to tail for that top 5 on that yellow line.
Trying to get that high line moving again. The number 24 of Jake Goodwin. He started towards the back, working his way up towards the front, leading that outside line. Trying to get some steam going. There you see Mike Alexander joins the fight. The 23 is a little bit closer. Trying to get going. It's a lot of these drivers think that maybe it's time to get going because you may run out of time. There you see a couple more drivers moving up to that high line to see if they can train around the low line drivers led by Quentin Carpenter.
Alexander was hanging off the back. I guess he decided it was time to go. He started to come up and join the back of this pack. He's sitting in that high line right behind the number 24. The 2 Tatry trucks went down to the bottom, abandoned that high line, and they're tucked nose to tail. As laps are running out here, if I'm running that outside lane, I sure would like to see some more partners to get the charge going forward.
Good clean race so far. Heat race number 2 for the Tim's Corner Motorsports Super Speedway SummerSlam Part 2. Leading right now, Quentin Carpenter, and you can see right now the 73, Dave Horton behind him, Tyler Hallahan, Kyle Young, and Jake Goodwin sneaking his way into the top 5. Jake's on the outside, leading that outside line, trying to get the help from Mike Alexander. If you were going to have anybody in this field to push you, it would definitely be Mike Alexander in my book, because he is fast in just about everything he drives. He even took the taco truck outside the track for a spin around the parking lot, laid down the quickest time. Magic Mike Alexander, number 75 Xander Signs machine, going to be very quick here this evening, trying to race his way in, trying to get one of those top 8 transfer spots.
And just like that, from the back to the front, that top line drove across the back straightaway and into turn number 3 and up to the leader. Just an incredible charge. You know, what happens is the leader and then the second place truck and the third place truck all have to slow up to keep from running each other. The top line, unencumbered, can run wide open through the banking, and that's what's happening here. As you see the top line formed, and they are now even edging ahead. So a good perseverance and persistence from the 24 of Goodwin, as he's now contesting for the lead off of turn number 2.
Really need to watch out for the big one at this point because we got everybody lined up 2 by 2. It looks like the entire field caught right back up in this bunch. One of those things to keep an eye on. We saw a couple laps ago, the number 93, Kyle Young, there you see him fourth on the inside, was very comfortably in fourth position, but now that the two lines are side by side, he's been back and forth between 7th and 9th, so he very well could be inches between a transfer spot, inches away from either making this race or coming back up here and joining us in the commentary booth here.
75 of Mike Alexander squirted out of line. He's up in the high side. The trucks are going to drive past him. He's going to drop back and have to fill back in. And he is out of a qualifying spot. And that top line has lost their organization and stepped back a little bit as the inside lane surges ahead, coming out to the straightaway there. Boy, these trucks are so nervous in the wind, moving back and forth. You can see them wobbling. Good thing we're at Talladega with all the space because they need it. These trucks are such a handful going down the straightaway.
You can really see them weaving and bobbing in the wind here. They're trying to get as much drafting help as they can from in front of and behind. These drivers looking out the mirror and the... Oh, you see the 73 car dipping truck. Check that. I'm going to get it right eventually, I'm telling you. Dave jumping on the outside. We're 4 wide, coming to 2 to go. Coming to the white flag, 4 wide for second place. There you see, and a little bit of contact. 73 into the 22, the 24 up into the wall. 22 still holding on that outside line. There you see the number 88 truck, Tyler Hallahan, trying to get down low the 18. No room there. These guys are all over the place, all over each other, bumper to bumper, door to door. 3 wide for third place there. You see it. Absolutely fantastic. As you can see, the 18 truck still holding on. The 88, the door gets open. Oh, the 88 gets into the corner. The 18 spins him on around. Kyle Young goes down below to the yellow to avoid the wreck. There you see the 23 getting a huge shove from that number 73 machine of the TD Bank Canada Trust. That's going to be Dave Horton. You can see trying to get around him as well now, shooting on the outside. Mike Alexander there in third. Holy moly, 3 wide coming to the stripe. Big time help from the bottom. There you see Kyle Young getting into the back of the inside line. Holy smokes. I'm not even sure who won that, Kevin.
Yeah, hard to say. It just all fell apart coming down the back straightaway, and it looks like maybe Joey Stiers somehow came from the back to the front. Hallahan in second, Alexander third, Horton fourth, Kyle Young fifth. And from there, it's anybody's race. Yeah, they're just wrecking and crashing out of 3 and 4 all the way to the start-finish line.
Nick Pagier, Andrew Tatry, and Jake Goodwin going to make the show here tonight. Top 8 moving on. Snellgrove finishes 9th, Noah Healy 10th, and rounding out the field, we're going to see Carpenter, who is leading, Cousins, Dross, Tatry, and a few other drivers. So, man, oh man, there was some action there on the last lap of that relatively clean heat race up until that very last lap, but it looks like jumping right into the feature here, Kevin.
I was looking at the 75 coming through 1 and 2. He was the meat in the sandwich. He was literally pressed to the inside truck with the outside truck against him to the point where he got side contact and damage, and somehow he was able to drive through and get himself in a qualifying spot as the grid coming up for the feature event. And these drivers that start out front, they made the race on time. And as they looked at what happened in those heat races, Paul, I have to be thankful that they're able to pull the grid here, didn't have to race their way in tonight.
Absolutely, and really gave these drivers, these top 8 qualifiers, time to take a quick peek and see just how everybody is running. But Corey Reed, there you see the number 27 machine. He is the pole winner here tonight in the 27 truck. E.J. O'Rourke on the outside, and it's going to be the 39 in scoring, but the number 41 on your screen, we'll try and keep up with that in that Trans-Service Silverado.
Second row, Noel Fournier in the 36 starts third, and Nick Codner in the 54 starts in that 4th position.
Behind them, starting in the 5th position, the number 1 truck of Ryan Messer. Outside of him, going to be Chantel Pottle. Great qualifying effort. She's going to start 6th.
Seventh starting spot for Brent Roy in the 26, and our friend Mr. Beasley, the number 10, starts in that 8th starting spot.
Heat race winners in this row. First one went to Chad Coleman. He's going to start 9th. Joey Stiers, the number 23, Red Bull Toyota Tundra. He's going to start on the outside in 10th.
Jason Goss in the 41 scores the 11th starting spot, 12th starting spot outside. Row number 6 for Tyler Hallahan in the 88.
Lucky 13th spot's going to belong to Colin Matthews, and outside of him, racing his way into heat race number 2, starting 14th, the number 75, Magic Mike Alexander.
Mike Rano in the 34, a veteran of this league. He starts 15th starting spot, and the number 73 of Dave Horton starts in 16th.
Matthew Barkhouse starting in 17th and number 28. And there you see Vidane TV's very own Kyle Young starting at the number 93 machine in the 18th position.
19th starting spot for the 42 of Mark Williams, and Nick Potier in the number 38 starts to his outside.
Coming to the green flag, getting ready for that pace truck to dip on down as they come out of turn number 4. Todd Tufts, Andrew Tatry, Brandon Campbell, Jake Goodwin, Craig Kenny, Greg Snellgrove, Tony Wright, Noah Healy, Owen Mahar making his way in, Quentin Carpenter, Bob Hutchings, Todd Cousins, Daniel Vitch, Scott Dross, Tanton Woldridge, Nathan Tatry, Ryan Walsh, and Terry Duguay. Going to round out the top 38 drivers in this field. Kevin, that pace truck, pace car Mustang has dipped on down to pit road. Now we go down that super long, super stretch on the front, coming to the green flag. Bring us to it.
Always the most exciting moment in motorsports. You hear the motors rev as they come up and come through this tri-oval, getting ready to jump through the gears, and it's going to be up to the 27 kicking it off and slams the accelerator down. They head to turn 1, and they're going to full field of trucks to run. Man, I'm looking at 66 laps of action, and they're going to be side by side, 3 wide, 4 wide, all the way through this event. Head to the backstretch for the first time and see a lot of trucks taking evasive action down there on the bottom.
Oh, looks like we have got a truck headed on down into the inside wall there on the backstretch. I want to say it was a black and green truck. We still stay green. No caution under that point. Looks like everybody's able to collect it. That's going to be the Monster Energy truck of Mark Williams, the number 42. There you see Noah Fougier missed the start, started in pit road, but we're still under green. Giving that lead to Corey Reed in the number 27 with Ryan Messer right behind him, right on his bumper. And there you can see Richard Beasley in that Tide machine moving up to the outside, trying to get a little bit of help from E.J. O'Rourke on the outside.
I have to wonder if that was a planned move. We saw the 23 of Joey Stiers jump off the racetrack coming out of turn number 2 and go to the back, and I think that's possibly what we saw there that everybody got surprised by, but no harm, no foul. Everybody comes back together as we got contact on the backstretch. 3 trucks going around, 4 trucks, 1 sideways right there in the middle, but most of them down on the bottom, and the back half of the pack is able to drive through. See 1 truck with some pretty severe damage. I think that might be Scott Drost in the 45. That truck spewing smoke is a big hit for the number 45, brings us under caution number 1.
Yeah, we're going to pull up the instant replay here. We're just rewinding the tapes and seeing if we can pull it up. Tonight's instant replay brought to you by the very brand new Vidane TV merchandise store. Check out our new Teespring shop at teespring.com/stores/Vidane TV. And we're pulling up the instant replay right now, and we're going to show you. It's going to be the 101 Tim Hortons truck. Saw him getting a little bit of trouble there, the heat races. Looks like he was kind of working his way up through, and the one truck, check that, coming out of pit road, merges up into him. So it looks like the one truck spotter was not paying attention. So definitely a tough break. But let's give the lead right now. It looks like it's going to be Richard Beasley. And we'll take a quick look here down pit road. Looks like there's maybe 1 or 2 trucks down pit road getting service on those machines. But right now, lap number 3, first caution of the night.
Yeah, so the butterflies are out. As we see, the Scott Drost truck did get service, and he's able to come back into competition. Not sure if that truck will be up to speed, but under caution number 1 for an incident over on the backstretch. Just a couple trucks coming together. And the good news is, whenever that's going to happen, Paul, you're kind of hoping that they clean themselves off and go off to the inside so that everybody could get through and not a lot of trucks involved.
Absolutely. And there you see the current leader, Richard Beasley, dipping down pit road after collecting, staying out, leading a lap here. No bonus points for leading a lap, but that's going to hand the lead over to E.J. O'Rourke here. Lap number 3, crossing to lap number 4. 62 laps here, ready to go. Going to take a quick opportunity to pay a couple bills. We're going to step away for a quick commercial break, but we'll be right back here for the Tim's Corner Motorsports SummerSlam Part 2. Don't go anywhere. Be right back.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Told you we wouldn't be long. Back here for the Tim's Corner Motorsports Super Speedway Special, the SummerSlam Part 2 here at Talladega Super Speedway. Currently leading right now, right there on your screen, E.J. O'Rourke. And the number 41 machine, Corey Reed, is the P2 machine. Now, Kevin, we saw a lot of action in the 2 heat races, and we see a lot of fast drivers that have qualified their way on time into this race. And now the top 10 is pretty much mixed up together with drivers that raced their way in and qualified in. So a lot of action so far, and still a long way to go here, Talladega Speedway. Here's a nice wide shot, just how big that front straightaway is. And a lot of races are won and lost between this point and the start-finish line, all the way down there, almost into turn number 1.
Yeah, one of the special characteristics of this track is the fact that the start-finish line is down across the front straightaway. And, well, there's a lot of people in the stands here. I have a question for you. Why are they all standing up? Doesn't anybody sit down?
Well, here at Vidane TV, we're just so exciting that, man, we're going to sell you the seat, but you're never going to use it.
Never going to sit in it. Yeah. You know, one of the things about this racetrack, it is so big, and I will talk about my experience last night. I dropped off the pack. Joey Jatina and I were just kind of riding, hoping for that caution so that we could get up, and we never got it. We ended up finishing. We didn't even see what happened out front, and but you know, it's nerve-wracking to run in this pack. These drivers, man, they just every lap the car ding, put one in the jar. The truck is buffeting, and you know, you're trying to figure out just what your space is around you, meaning the truck in front, the truck behind, the truck to your left, the truck to your right, if that's the case may be. And you're always like a chess match trying to calculate your next move. It's exhausting. Sometimes you'll see these drivers run up front and then just decide they want to take a break. They'll pull out a line, go to the back, and then come back through a little bit later. But as you said a moment ago, Paul, you could swap it out. Some guys just are, guys and gals, because we have gals racing here, just are terrible at qualifying. No matter what they do, they can't do it. But when you get them in the race, man, they're going to come forward.
Oh, absolutely. Prime example. That's going to be Jarrett Bolliard. He runs in the Vidane Racing. He's been running with us. He's our defending and reigning champion. He's running in the Sim 500 Vidane Super Speedway Series this time, trying to make himself champ. Jarrett Two Belts, as he has coined himself so far. He flat out admitted he is awful at qualifying. He cannot turn a quick time. He's not very good at hot lapping, but he is very good at basically playing chess at 200 miles an hour in these trucks. And with the Sim 500 Vidane Super Speedway Series, you got to be good at everything because we rotate through a different, about a half a dozen different vehicles, from the 87 Cup car to the Cup car. We're actually running Talladega here tonight with the old COT Cup car that has no restrictor plate, but the pace car dips on down. There you see EJ O'Rourke getting a great big old restart. Is that going to be too much, though, as he is checked out already as he gets to the line? The 27 truck of Corey Reed working to try and get back up to the bumper. It's a good clean start, but it seems like everybody's already really stretched out in single file here, heading on down into turn number 1.
You ever see when a caution comes out and all the trucks just kind of pace themselves single file to go catch the pace car? That's what this restart looks like. Everybody's spread out, single file, so they go down the back straightaway. I don't even think I see any side-by-side action there, but it won't take long. They're all going to gather up here. O'Rourke didn't snooker him that well, and we should explain why his truck has a 41, but is scored as a 39.
That's a good idea. Go ahead and do that.
When these drivers register with the league, they have to pick a number, but they typically have a number that they run in other places or when they run in general. And in the case of O'Rourke, almost every time we see him, he's in the 41 truck, but he must be registered with the TCM crew as number 39, or he's in here for Daniel Falkingham. I don't know what the case may be, but as we said, these drivers are going to get side by side. I see a little bit of a wiggle going on as they're trying to get that sorted out. The 88 of Tyler Hallahan, he wanted to get in there, and he had a good run on the number 27. 27 looked to be jumping down, but couldn't get it. And as it turned out, Corey Reed was smart enough, just stayed up top, let the Hallahan truck drive by, and then tucked in behind him. And man, look at that Hallahan truck. It's got to run. It has the back bumper filled with Snellgrove, and they drove past O'Rourke like he was sitting still.
That right there, Kevin, is a couple of drivers you can tell absolutely have worked together in the past. Hallahan and Snellgrove make it look easy in the 88 and the 22. All the way around the outside, pushing by themselves. And you can see they've actually got a little bit of distance. The 27 is going to be able to close that gap, though, with that little bit of draft as he's going to come up to them. But man, oh man, the 88 to 22 made it look easy. There you see somebody stepping out of line there on the outside line, gathering it back up, shoots on down to the inside, all over the place it looks like, trying to find where he's going. The 84 of Noah Healy. It looks like he's finally got the tape in the center of the steering wheel pointing that thing in the right direction, Kevin.
He got a huge run out of turn number 2. I don't think he wanted to let it off. So he rolled the truck all the way up to the fence and then drove it down the banking and shot the hole. Good thing nobody was down there. And I see some of these trucks getting a little nervous. We're looking at the Brent Roy truck, the number 25. He's running where? About 5th, 6th a moment ago, but now he's dropped back to 10th. That's the Stuart Friesen looking truck, the Hallmar International Toyota. I think he got a little nervous to just breathe the throttle, and everybody was able to drive past him. But now, we said it was single file, wouldn't stay that way for long. It's 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 all the way back through the top 10.
Yeah, taking a look right now, the 18 and the 1, the Quentin Carpenter Machine and Ryan Messer right behind him. They saw what happened with the 88 and 22 with 2 trucks hooking up, bumper to bumper going on the outside. When they started moving their way up towards the front, they got a whole bunch of help, a bunch of trucks filled in on the outside, and now it's 2 by 2 all the way through this field. So great racing up front, side by side, the 18 on the outside, and that's going to be Quentin Carpenter. He's trying to get around Tyler Hallahan in the number 88.
Yeah, up front there, side by side, and I'm in the cockpit view of Chantel Pottle, and just watching how much these trucks dance around. It's got the windshield full of the Mountain Dew truck. Good run right up to the back of the tailgate of that truck, yet had to ease out of the throttle. And yeah, you're always thinking, like we said, always just trying to calculate your next move.
And there you can hear a great shot, the gyro cam here on the inside of the 05 of Chantel Pottle. You can hear her letting off the throttle, getting into the corner, not getting into the bumper. There you see EJ O'Rourke way on the inside, trying to move his way up. Looks like he's trying to get up through the center line, but nope, just a little bit close on the outside. No, nothing going on there. But man, oh man, you can really tell these drivers trying to drive with the steering wheel, but you also have to let off here, and it doesn't make too much sense to let off at a super speedway or let off in any kind of race, really. But you don't want to run over the guy in front of you or the girl driver in front of you. You don't want to have to push them into the driver in front of them as well. So a lot of chess match stuff going on there. You see the 84 with a wiggle on the outside, but he collects it. The 38, I believe, on the low side. That's going to be Nick Patier. He kind of dips on down low to try and avoid that, and he does. So no contact there, no harm, no foul.
Yeah, the last couple times off of turn number 2, that 84 looks like that truck has been a handful, just trying to keep that truck pointed in the right direction up off the corner, coming down off the banking. As now we see a couple trucks up in that high line trying to see if they can make something happen. The 10 of Richard Beasley, he's out there with the number 38 of Chad Coleman. We saw Coleman in a previous race not too long ago here at Talladega just take advantage, just ride around that outside lane and put it to really good use by the end of the event.
Absolutely. Chad Coleman, definitely one of the veterans here in this field. As far as super speedway goes, there you see a little bit of a wiggle from the 41 of E.J. O'Rourke. Chad Coleman, he's run a lot of Vidane races, a lot of Sim 500 races, and he's even run a lot of Tim's Corner Motorsports races. Very, very quick wherever he goes there in that Kick-Ass Beef Jerky Toyota Tundra. And again, be able to check them out over at kickassbeefjerky.com. Use promo code SIM500 for 19% off. But he and Beasley, nice and clean up on the outside there. Beasley in that number 10 Tide ride, and doing a great job trying to move their way up to the front outside of Chantel Pottle in that 05 machine right now, trying to just kind of move their way up 3 wide pretty much from them on back. And they're just trying to get up towards the front and see what they can do here for the last couple. Well, there's still quite a bit of laps to go here, Kevin.
I saw a very distinct moment of clarity for E.J. O'Rourke before. He was coming down the back straightaway, had a chance to go underneath Pottle, made the run, and then just at the last moment, the gap closed, and he was able to get the truck rode up. But good. Nope, he's going to turn sideways into the wall as we speak. Pottle around. 4 or 5 trucks, big hits by several trucks, still crashing over there on the back end of the straightaway as we're under caution number 2. And an incident about the 5th, 6th, 7th position there as a couple trucks came together, and then the track was blocked and everybody piled in.
Yeah, tough break for a lot of quick drivers. That happened up towards the front of the pack. We're going to pull up the instant replay here, brought to you by the new Vidane TV Teespring store at teespring.com/store/Vidane TV. Be sure to pick up some of our brand new merch. Check out the hoodies, the t-shirts, the tank tops, and even a couple of championship stickers, which are pretty cool. I've actually ordered a couple of them, and I'm really excited for them to come in. But we're going to take a look. We're going to focus on the 05 of Chantel Pottle, who was involved in that wreck. There you can see right now, everybody's kind of 2x2. 88 is the leader. You can see the 41 gets into the back bumper of the 05, tries to give her a little bit of a push, and unfortunately really nowhere for her to go. There you can see that 72 machine has expired the motor, as has Chantel. A lot of black smoke coming out of there. There's our very own Kyle Young in the 93 truck, the TD Bank 73 machine. He is tore up. A lot of damaged trucks here in this event. Man, tough break. It's unfortunately really nowhere for EJ to go at that point. So, it's tough row to hoe there.
Yeah, I would look at that as Chantel, just you're driving out, looking out the windshield, you see the truck coming up behind you, and if your rear wheels are off the ground, there's not really much you could do. You absolutely have to hit the truck square, and EJ O'Rourke got into the back of the 05 car, darn it, ching. The truck turned left, came back across the track, cleaned out O'Rourke, and then got a bunch of other drivers. As we see Beasley, who was running in the top 5, he's heading to pit road to get some service in the Tide number 10.
A couple of other drivers working down pit road to see if they can try and figure out what's going on with the race cars, see if they can get them figured out. But that gives us an opportunity to try and get things figured out on our end. Going to grab another quick commercial break, pay some bills here. We'll be right back. Don't you go anywhere.
Have you seen my kick-ass subscription box anywhere? Oh, there it is.
Welcome back to Talladega Motor Speedway. Under caution number 2 on lap 15 for a multiple truck incident over on the back straightaway. Several trucks took the opportunity to go get some fuel, freshen up the tires. Noah Healy is one of those drivers out coming to the back of the pack. As we see the 88, you're riding with Tyler Hallahan, the leader right now, running behind the Ford Mustang pace car as they come down. I think the lights will go off this time, Paul. And yeah, it's been pretty eventful race. And without O'Rourke out front, it'll be interesting to see the complexion of this restart.
Absolutely, and speaking of complexion, we'll talk to him again here. Kyle Young got involved in that little bit of an incident there. See him coming off pit road, got a little bit of damage fixed there. Kyle, how bad's the truck?
Unfortunately, it's whooped up a little bit more than what I was wanting it to be. Ended up with 5 minutes of optional damage, so I was trying to save the fast repairs pretty early to use that, but it may have been the more intelligent decision here. So I think we'll see how the race plays out from here going forward. And if we get another quick yell, I might just take that repair and hope that we can avoid chaos the rest of the way.
That's still a long way to go and a short time to get there, so we'll let you get back to work, Kyle.
How many fast repairs do you have, Kyle?
Just one for us tonight.
Got it. Okay. Well, hang on to it, my friend. You're going to need it.
Absolutely.
Vidane TV's very own Kyle Young trying to work double duty here tonight, working the Tim's Corner Motorsports Special Event, and he's also trying to qualify in to his first race of the season, the Sim 500 Vidane Super Speedway race over, right here on Vidane TV later on tonight. That's going to be a 10:30 start time, 2 hours from now. So don't go anywhere tonight. Be sure to top off all your beers and your drinks. We got a lot of action here, Kevin.
Yeah, look through this top 10, and the field has really shaken up. You see a couple of those drivers who started way in the back. Quentin Carpenter running second right now. He started 30th. Greg Snellgrove in the 22 started 26th. He's running third. The 29th starting spot was Owen Mahar in the 101. He's running in 5th position. And, I just have a taste for a nice, fresh, hot coffee after looking at Mahar's truck.
There you see the coffee beans on the number 101 Tim Hortons. I believe they call it a double-double. I think that's a coffee. I'm not sure. I've never actually been up to Canada, and I've never actually been to a Tim Hortons either.
You've never been to a Tim Hortons?
No, sir. I'm a Dunkin' guy. I'm a Dunkin' guy.
Yeah. A very, very tasty beverage there at Tim Hortons. I'm watching from the Ryan Messier number 1 as he's starting in the 4th position. We'll get to see how this start comes. Everybody kind of gathered up a little closer right now. The 22 of Greg Snellgrove gets a good jump. He's pushing Hallahan off to the start, and the two of them going to break away as they come up through the gears and go across the start-finish line to restart here on lap number 17.
Those 88 and 22 trucks, absolute powerhouses here, and we're starting to see that. It's going to take at least a couple of trucks working together, I think, to try and get around those two trucks. But there you see, Quentin Carpenter is running in 3rd. That Tim Hortons truck, 4th, belongs to Owen Mayer. Ryan Messer is currently in 5th. Again, another restart where everybody kind of gets single file. They know it's still early on here in the race. The one truck trying to make a little bit of something happen there on the outside. It actually looks like everybody else is going to close in on the inside line. There you see the 38 in the Mountain Dew truck. Noel Fouchier doing a great job in the number 36 machine sponsored by iRACING. He actually missed the start of this race, had to start on pit road, missed the first start, but he's able to gather it back up. Currently running in that 8th machine, or 8th position, the number 36, check that, of Noel Fouchier.
Yeah, he was banging on the back bumper of the truck in front of him, and the truck jumped out of line, Tatier, and went to the outside, and I'm wondering if it just got nervous, or I'm not sure what the situation there is. There's 2 of those trucks in the field tonight. Andrew Tatier in the 06 running in that 5th position. As you see the 114 of Duex drive down to the yellow line, but able to get it back up and chase down Woolridge. Woolridge having a good run from starting deep in the pack.
Saw him getting into a little bit of trouble there in the heat races earlier on, but doing a great job right now, running just outside the top 10, trying to take that spot from either the 38 of Nick Potier or the number 2 of Todd Cousins, as they're side by side right in front of him. And right behind him, there you see Terry Duguay doing a great job. And the number 114, Kevin made mention of. He's doing a good job. Nice, clean truck so far. Nothing caved in. Mark Williams in the 42 Monster Machine. Saw him a little bit tore up, a little bit tangly, a little bit wobbly there in the heat races as well. He's doing a great job currently running in the 13th position.
Right now, 35 drivers still on the lead lap. One truck is 13 laps down, presumably out of it. That would be Brandon Campbell in the number 99, but still anybody's race as they're 3 wide down there on the back straightaway. The number 2, Todd Cousins, to the outside of the 36. Yeah, tenuous to run, but you can do it that way. As we see Cousins kind of drop back a little bit, does not want to be on that outside, comes back to the inside of the track. And they're going to race off turn number 4 on lap 19 to come to lap number 20. And yeah, they're getting awful racy up front one more time.
Absolutely. You can see the number 22 all over the back bumper, the 88, the 06 all over the back bumper of the number 1. These two sets of drivers trying to push each other towards the front, trying to see who is quicker as a tandem, and they both have help on the outside. Trucks lined up on both the inside and the outside. There's a few more on the inside, but it looks like the drivers on that outside line are a little bit tighter, so they're going to get a little bit more of an advantage. Oh, big wreck, big wiggle from a truck, and look, oh, everybody saves it. 38 was pushed down low. I believe that was the number 36 of Fougere that broke loose there, Kevin, and pancaked the inside, the right side of that 38 truck. Almost looked like the old Spam paint scheme there, but it really makes me want some Spam.
Lake Speed, perfect name for racing.
Absolutely, but great heads-up driving from all these drivers here in the top 10. Everybody keeping it pointed in the right direction, keeping their foot in it, and not wrecking these race trucks. So gonna be coming up on us a little bit of lap traffic. I believe that's the 24 truck of Jake Goodwin they're coming up on. Napa machine all the way up towards the wall. Gonna let these leaders right on by. Don't know, looks like he just came off pit road a bit ago. 4 tires and some fuel, so may very well be a little bit of pit fuel strategy as he's going to try and latch onto the backside of this field and keep up with this draft, Kevin.
Yeah, you see you have about 22 trucks running in that lead draft, then a little break back, and then to 34th, but several of these drivers out back here running damaged trucks. We see Pottle running 28th of 05. That truck is destroyed. The 19 of Ryan Walsh was in that first incident. That truck is pretty banged up. And yeah, a couple of these drivers just kind of streaming around out back, trying to get whatever they can out of it. Nick Codner in the 54, that truck is damaged out in the back. And Richard Beasley, I'm not sure what the story is there, whether that's a on-purpose situation or not, but he's running 21st out there, pacing himself with Corey Reed and Tony Wright. Same situation I found myself in last night. Maybe they lost that draft. Sometimes you get in behind some of these trucks that are damaged, and when the top of the field takes off, you can't get around them cleanly to stay with that lead pack, and you find yourself streamed off. As tense moments as the lead pack goes around, the lapped car is still able to keep it straight. They're 3 wide for the lead coming down the front straightaway.
3 wide for the lead. Chad Coleman was on the outside. They came around a lap car, made them 4 wide, and they made it work. That was probably one of the most hair-raising things we've seen here on Vidane TV. Huge push from Brent Roy up to E.J. O'Rourke, up to Chad Coleman to put that 38 kick-ass beef jerky Tundra in the lead. Holy smokes, was that intense.
Just watching these drivers, they're all elbows up, and well, yeah, look who's up there in that top pack, the number 41 lettered truck, the trans service number 41, number 39, listed in your register. He's in the top 5. How does he do it?
Always in the top couple of trucks, cars, dump trucks, food trucks, taco trucks, whatever he's driving. E.J. O'Rourke very, very quick, and that's why he's got that sponsor there of Trans Service. Sponsors him over in Sim 500 and the Vidane Super Speedway Series as well. And you can see it's absolutely well-deserved as he's trying to get around at Chad Coleman, a fellow Sim 500 race mate, and you can see that one truck actually gets a little bit of a look on the inside
Pushes
of the
right
one.
underneath him.
And just like that, Chad Coleman coming down pit road, it looks like. He's going to make a green flag pit stop from the lead. And, well, no, it's not even dipping down for a pit stop. Looks like he just wanted to get out of Dodge, wanted to drop back, and there you can see E.J. O'Rourke dropping back as well. So that may very well have been a calculated move. Wanted to get a little bit of TV time there for Trans Service and Kick-Ass Beef Jerky, and then drop towards the back, give the lead over to the Mountain Dew ride, Andrew Tatro in the number 06, side by side right now with the number 1 of Ryan Messer.
Messer having a good run. He drives out on that high line, comes down to cover the bottom. He's going to lead that lap as they go through. He'll be on the bottom with Tatry right behind him in the 06. On the outside lane, it's the number 26 of Brent Roy. He's trying to push Noel Fogier out front.
You're getting there. You're getting there. Fogier.
Fogier. I'm going to get it right. I always struggle with these Canadian. They're going to go banging off at each other. Fogier sideways. He's banging off the side. He got tapped again. Everybody taking evasive action. And yeah, we're going to have a problem over there on the back straightaway.
Absolutely. They almost had it, but then they didn't. And, a lot of trucks involved here in the caution. So we'll back this up and take a quick little peek here at the instant replay brought to you by Vidane TV's brand new Teespring store. Check out the hoodies, the sweatshirts, the tank tops. Yeah, there's even a couple of face masks in there, Kevin, to check out teespring.com/store/Vidane TV. You can also go to Vidane.net and click on the merch tab, and that'll bring you right to it. But backing this replay up, we'll take a quick peek and see what happened to bring out this caution flag number 5 here for the Tim's Quarters Motorsports SummerSlam Part 2. And you can see side by side for the lead, the 26. Check that, the 36 kind of pancakes the door of the one car, and there's a lot of trucks that get involved. 22, there you saw, he and the 88 were doing a great job earlier on. The 88 makes it through, but the 22 does not. We'll back this up again as you can see just who was involved in this wreck, and man, was it a big one. We're just pulling up, see if we can find a good camera angle. Here we go.
SummerSlam, that number 26 truck of Brent Roy got bounced off, went down into the inside wall, made huge contact in the Stuart Friesen looking truck. That Toyota is wrinkled on all corners.
There you see the 42 machine tore up as well. So a lot of damaged trucks, but we heard Kyle Young say it himself. These drivers all have one quick reset, so that's good news. We'll see who's going to use that or who's going to try and hold on for it later on in the show. Looks like Ryan Messer, the number 1 truck, going to dip on down pit road as we are back to the live. A lot of trucks coming down pit road. Looks like everybody's coming down pit road at this point, Kevin.
Yeah, a lot of trucks had damage, and a lot of them are just going to top off on fuel. Maybe some of them will think this is time to change the tires. This we're 26 laps of 66 in. And if your truck is severely damaged and you do have a reset, you're probably going to ride around in the back like we saw some of those trucks we were talking about a moment ago, and just wait for that time to come in and reset. You don't want to use it too early because you could possibly get collected in the second big one. We see a lot of these drivers just coming in. They're getting some of the damage fixed. They're getting their fuel, but we don't see a lot of drivers taking tires, as half the field, I would think, is in here on this green flag or on this caution flag here on lap number 26.
Yeah, it looks like the popular thing was 2 tires and fuel, and hit it with a hammer a couple of times. As you can see, there's still a couple of drivers working the damage there. You can see right now 09 on your scoring. Tony Wright, he's going to be the leader with Corey Reed, Dave Horton, Tanton Wooldridge, and Todd Tufts, the top 5. And you can see just pit road drivers just working their way, trying to bang out the kinks just a little bit. And there's our leader right now, currently the 09 machine, Tony Wright.
We talked about the SummerSlam for Brent Roy and the number 26. Well, the Magic Fairies have come to the 26 pit and restored that truck. It is back to pristine condition. No more resets for Brent Roy, so he's going to have to keep it clean for the rest of this event, as I'm guessing a lot of drivers have come to that conclusion at this point, as there's been quite a bit of contact in some of this event so far. Working caution number 3, 27 laps in, and after they use them up all, they're going to be more conservative.
Absolutely. And you see that happen a lot of times with super speedway races, or really any of these iRacing races where they have the reset. Once you use that quick repair that the NASCAR Coca-Cola Series uses as well, pretty much tells you that you really need to mind your P's and Q's, and you really need to keep that thing pointed in the right direction, because if you wreck at that point, you're done. So some drivers are going to try and limp around with a damaged race truck and see if they can hold on and maybe utilize that quick repair on a late caution to kind of gamble just a little bit, but unfortunately a lot of drivers having to take that quick repair here before halfway, lap number 27 coming to 28 under caution of lap 66. And we're here at Talladega Super Speedway here, Talladega, Alabama, for a Tim's Corner Motorsports Special, the SummerSlam Part 2. We ran this combination back in the summer months of the pandemic shutdown, and we had a great race then. We're having a great race now. Some exciting heat races and some quick qualifying times to get these drivers lined up and into the show. And this is actually race 1 of 2 here this evening on Vidane TV. Is coming up here in less than 2 hours. 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time start. It's going to be the Sim 500 Vidane Racing Super Speedway Series race number 4 in that race. We had an off week a couple of weeks ago and a great race last week here on Vidane TV last Saturday night. Going to be running here at Talladega as well. We're going to be running the old COT Car Tomorrow Cup cars without the restrictor plates, so that is absolutely going to be fantastic. And a little bit of a gauntlet has been made as the administrators of the Tim's Corner Motorsports Leagues and the Sim 500 Vidane Racing Leagues as well have said that anybody that wants to start both races here this evening absolutely can. And if there's a driver that can win both the Tim's Corner Motorsports Special and the Sim 500 Vidane Racing Super Speedway Series race, they get a free t-shirt from the very brand new, very exciting, very awesome Teespring store that we just opened up for Vidane TV. Check it out at teespring.com/stores/Vidane TV. Get yourself a hoodie, a t-shirt, a tank top, a face mask, some kind of cool piece of merchandise with the Vidane TV logo, and let everybody know that you were entertained by Vidane TV.
Everybody's kind of collecting their breath here, coming to about halfway. At this point, Paul, I think the drivers know what kind of truck they have, and they're just going to see contact here. It's Owen Mahar somehow came off that fourth turn and just banged into the truck in front of him. I was watching the 24 truck a moment ago, came to pit road and then locked him up, spun out. I wondered what that was all about. Then drove to the right of the cone. I guess pit road was closed, didn't realize it. Was able to get the truck out onto the apron and drive through as we get ready for the restart. And they're going to come up through the gears here and kick it back off here on lap number 29.
09 of Tony Wright gets a great restart, heads on down into turn number 1. He's going to get a good push from the TD Bank number 73. That's going to be Dave Horton. No relation to Tim. Right behind him, the 27 of Reed on the outside, holding off the one machine of Ryan Messer. Going to see if they can get to working together. Richard Beasley not wanting to work with those guys. He's got a huge push from the number 41 Tundra of E.J. O'Rourke on the outside. 3 wide for the lead, heading on down into turn number 3.
You know, the truck's all scattered out like kids at a grade school dance. Everybody doesn't find their dancing partner right now, but I would imagine they're all going to come together by the end of this thing. As we see Nick Codner in the 54 have some troubles to the outside. He's going to drop down, running in, about the 11th position off the mark is Brent Roy in the 26. We saw the Presto Magic fix of that truck, and he's back in the hunt here in that lead group. He's running right behind Todd Tufts in the number 72, and up front they're 3 wide for the lead going into the banking with Beasley on the inside.
3 wide for the lead, and there you see Beasley leading him on the inside line. He's a strong independent race car driver, and he don't need no partner as he did it almost by himself. He got a good shot from E.J. O'Rourke in number 41, put him up into the lead, but now you can see the outside and the middle lanes pushing ahead, and that actually puts Richard Beasley in the 3rd spot in line. And there you see the outside line comes down in front of the middle lane, in front of the bottom lane. So these guys are really starting to work together, starting to see what works, what doesn't work, and a lot of fast drivers. You can see Chad Coleman currently running right behind E.J. O'Rourke, was able to push him all all the way up to the lead. Those drivers hold on to the top 2 spots.
Sometimes you do see those drivers testing the runs. They'll get behind each other, they'll run through, and you got to be careful when you're tucked in up underneath the truck. The temperatures can come up, damage the motor, and so they're all testing all the time to see what they can have for that final run at the finish.
For sure, Kevin. We saw that happen earlier on here tonight with E.J. O'Rourke and Chad Coleman pushing their way up to the front of the field, and then they kind of drop to the back. Now you can see E.J. O'Rourke's going to move up to the middle lane. Chad Coleman's going to hold on to the bottom lane. Richard Beasley moves up just a bit. Huge dive in there for the number 27 of Reed. Holy moly. That hole was open for about a half a second, and he made it work. Great job by the number 27 machine, moving himself into 3rd spot.
We're over here by the start-finish line, and I flinched when I saw that truck drive. Ryan Messer in the number 1 watched that out the windshield, and he's got to be talking to his spotter going, what the heck was that?
There's about 15 trucks here in this lead pack, Kevin. Everybody bumper to bumper, door to door, quarter to quarter. A lot of close action racing here, and it's all being led by Chad Coleman coming over from Sim 500, trying to complete the double here tonight. And the gauntlet's been laid down by Vidane TV. Any driver able to win both races here tonight, here at the Tim's Corner Motorsports Special Events and the Vidane Racing Sim 500 race, they're going to get a free sweatshirt from the brand new Teespring store, teespring.com/stores/Vidane TV. Get yourself a little bit of Vidane TV merchandise and let everybody know that you were entertained here by Vidane TV. But man, oh man, Kevin, great racing up front. Chad Coleman leading, Richard Beasley second, putting the bumper to that 38 truck, trying to keep him out front of the 27 machine of Corey Reed, and now E.J. O'Rourke moving to the middle lane, trying to get a little bit of help behind him. They go around him. Messer's going to go up to the high line. He's going to get a push from Brent Roy.
I just am sitting up here watching this in amazement as these drivers with the skill going left, going right, going through the middle, and still keeping these trucks going straight at almost 200 miles an hour. So they go off to the backstretch one more time. It just looks like pandemonium all the way through, yet they're all making calculated moves. I see a couple new players up there in that top 15. Bob Hutchins running the 15 AC Delco truck, just kind of riding back there, not too sure who wants to go up in there, and I don't blame him.
Bob Hutchings, a real good friend of Tim's Corner Motorsports at Eastbound Esports, right now running on board the 06 machine, who's currently 3 wide. You can see just how much wheel he's having to put into that truck to keep that thing pointed straight. He's on the back bumper of the 41 of E.J. O'Rourke, trying to push him into position, trying to see exactly what's going to go on. There you see E.J. O'Rourke's going to dive down low to try and help the fellas in the low line, leaving the 06 up here with the 09, to see if he can push him. You can see he's burping the throttle, trying to slow down because he doesn't want to get into him in the corner and spin him on around. So a lot of heads-up driving from all of these drivers in this race. And there you can see a lap down driver. That's going to be the number 2 car truck. Check that, Miller High Life machine. Yeah, ding, count it. Todd Cousins going down a lap. Looks like he just came off pit road, grabbed some tires and fuel there.
We're going to have enough coins in the jar to go to Las Vegas after this one.
Yeah, we might be able to sponsor a couple of races after this. Who knows?
Lap 34 in the books, coming to complete lap 34, working lap number 35 right now. And I just see no let up in these drivers as they continue to push and lead as many laps as possible, or try to get up there and mix it up, as it looks like the bottom line right now has the advantage. And you see these trucks every once in a while, they come off the straightaway and then they catch the wind, or come off the corner on the backstretch and catch that wind, and it often shoots the truck left. You literally have to turn right into the wind off that turn over there, as we see a lot of wiggles over there, especially right off the turn 2.
For sure, Kevin, and these guys are doing a great job really holding on to the trucks. We saw the in-car truck view of the 06 just a little bit ago. Really having to hold the wheel right, left, and kind of wiggle it back and forth, really even just to go in a straight line with the wind coming off of the track, off of the actual wind, and the wind coming off of the trucks as well. So really a chess match here at 200 miles an hour. As you can see, the 38 machine drifting up just a little bit, but it looks like he's going to gather it back up and keep on holding on to that 5th place in line on the inside. Still Chad Coleman out front of that kick-ass beef jerky Tundra. kickassbeefjerky.com. Promo code SIM500 for 19% off. Check out some of their awesome products as well. But he's going to be leading Richard Beasley, who is second right now, right on the back bumper, latched up. It almost looks like there's a chain between those two trucks going around the track right now. They've been bumper to bumper for quite a few laps at this point. Really just trying to hold on to those two spots and see how long it's going to take to get them to the finish.
It reminds my father's pickup truck of this era, driving our 57 Chevy when we used to flat tow to Nazareth Speedway with the crowbar right on the back as you were towing the vehicle behind you. And at one time the clutch blew out in the truck, Paul, and my brother jumped in the race car and fired it up, and he pushed the truck home from Nazareth Speedway. That's what those two look like, Beasley. Chad Coleman just pushing each other down the straightaway here. And the good news for them is if they can stay hooked up and stay clean, steady, it's going to be awful hard to drive around them.
It's gonna be tough to get around those two drivers. I think it's gonna be E.J. O'Rourke and whoever pairs up with him. And there you can see right behind him right now the 88 truck of Tyler Hallahan. Now he was working really well together with the number 22 earlier on. Doesn't look like he wanted anything to do with the back bumper of E.J. O'Rourke because he dipped on down low. Now Ryan Messer's going to get on the back bumper. There you see E.J. O'Rourke down below that yellow line. I don't believe he passed anybody right there for position, so no harm, no foul there. But that 88 truck trying to make things happen again. He unfortunately lost his dancing partner, the number 22 machine, earlier on in a wreck. That was going to be Greg Snellgrove, who's currently running 30th. But, man, he's definitely trying to take that Menards yellow machine up towards the front, and he's doing a great job on the outside line trying to make that happen.
He's got a little help from Ryan Messer in the number one trying to make it through as they are now getting organized to that outside lane. You see him come down to side draft the truck on the inside, and then they jump out to the outside trying to make it go away as O'Rourke stayed down, but right behind him, Tyler Hallahan jumped to the outside lane. They're three wide coming through the tri-oval. That is a difficult place to be three wide, especially if you're on the outside, but Hallahan still holding tough out there as E.J. O'Rourke, the meat and sandwich. Out front, it continues to be Coleman and Beasley leading the way.
Right behind them, you can see the 27 machine and the 73 machine. That's Corey Reed and Dave Horton doing a great job. Still single file for those top four trucks. Currently, E.J. O'Rourke right now, he is on the middle lane in between the number 73 and the 88, trying to figure out where he's going, who he's working with. 88 has a little bit of help there, as you made mention earlier, of Ryan Messer trying to push that 88 machine up around these trucks, up around E.J. O'Rourke, and trying to push him up towards the lead. And there you can see Brent Roy still doing a great job running in the top 10. So it's, man, it's still anybody's ballgame at this point, Kevin.
Yeah, Messer coming down into the tri-oval, abandoned that outside post, went down and tucked underneath the back bumper of E.J. O'Rourke. He's got Tony Wright in the 09 right behind him on that outside lane. It's the outside lane trying to get organized to mount a charge on the front two, who are serving everybody a lesson here. Good run for Coleman and Beasley leading out front.
Haven't mentioned his name too much yet, but Nick Paccia doing a great job, currently running 7th in that 38 machine, the 38 Speedco Ford F-150, and also sponsored by Loves there. Started in the 20th position, currently running 7th, holding on to a top 10 right now, and everything looks clean right there, as you can see the drivers going by a lapped machine. So still not too much has changed up front. Chad Coleman, Richard Beasley, 1-2. E.J. O'Rourke has finally moved himself up into 3rd place. You can bet he's a Sim 500 driver, and he was wanting to get down in the inside lane to try and hook up with those two other drivers that race at Sim 5. Oh, the 27 moves up the track and gets into the quarter parallel. The 41 sends him around. It looks like the 27 was able to get by no problem, but E.J. O'Rourke unfortunately pointed in the wrong direction, and a couple of big tags there for the number 41 Trans Service Machine. So gives us an opportunity to pull up another instant replay here, sponsored by the Vidane TV Teespring store at teespring.com/stores/Vidane TV. Or you can just shoot on over to Vidane.net and click on the merch button. That'll bring you right over there. And you can also check it out on Facebook, as we got a post about it from a couple hours ago. But we're going to pull up the replay here, show you what happened. We're going to focus on that number 41, E.J. O'Rourke on the outside, at 27 of Corey Reed on the inside just kind of gets loose, loses the truck, and sends the 41 on around. Doesn't look like anybody else was involved too big. Couple of bumps and bangs and bruises there, but a little bit of a Band-Aid will fix that, and not a problem. Still going to be Chad Coleman, Richard Beasley up front here, and we'll see if we can catch these guys live if they're coming down pit road.
I was watching Bob Hutchings in the number 15 truck. He was running in 13th. He was the last truck in that group. He was hanging off the back. He was able to get on the binders and clean that truck up and get it wound down before any actions there. And just smart heads-up racing by him. The rest of the field beyond 13th was 8 seconds back. This is going to bring them all right back up to that front pack.
Gives us another opportunity to talk to one of the drivers here. Chad Coleman, the current leader, started in 9th there in the Kick-Ass Beef Jerky Toyota Tundra. Chad, you got a copy?
Yeah.
Man, you're doing a great job working with that nice, clean truck behind you, Richard Beasley in the tie number 10. How's the race going, man?
Me and EJ and me and Beasley's worked together a good bit this race. We've had some fun pushing each other.
You guys doing an awesome job coming down pit road. Looks like you're bringing the entire field here with you. We won't jack you up too much here as you try to get off pit road, so hopefully we'll talk to you on later on in the race.
All right, thanks, man.
Chad Coleman, the number 38 driver, coming down pit road, bringing the entire field with him, and we're going to take a look at the camera there set up at the end of pit road to see who's going to win that race. And a lot of drivers coming in for 2, a lot of drivers coming in for fuel only. There you see the 06. He's going to be the first one off pit road. Looks like fuel only for that machine. There you see Chad Coleman, Richard Beasley, the number 78-3. Brent Roy comes off as well. Nick Potier in the 38. He comes off pit road as well in the top 10, and everybody else starting to come through as well. So a lot of 4-tire stops, a couple of 2-tire stops. A couple of guys just taking fuel here, Kevin.
Yeah, Coleman and Beasley, both 4 tires and fuel for those 2 trucks. And while we were talking to them, sometimes you have to remember that the drivers are working as pit crew. They're the ones determining what tires are changed or whatever, but these guys have been doing it so long, they probably do it in their sleep. And Beasley and Coleman having good stops, but this is going to put them behind a couple trucks that stayed out. Tatier, Woolridge, Young are your top 3 right now. Is Young going to be? No, I think he's a lap down. So we'll see if Kyle gets to drive around here. As right now, it looks like the 56 of 10 Woolridge has scored your leader.
Yeah, it looks like Kyle Young is on the tail end of the lead lap, so you may very well get a wave by here. Tant Woolridge, nailed it, first try. Currently the leader as he has stayed out under this last pit stop here, but we'll see if we can pull up another one of the drivers that's been in the top 10 here throughout the evening. Came out of pits in the P5 position, number 26, Brent Roy. Brent, you got a copy?
Hey, copy.
Man, you've been doing a great job so far here, Brent. Still in the top 10. Nice, clean truck so far. Talk to us about your race so far.
We got a little bit of damage there earlier in one of the cautions, but we got her fixed up. The boys got her fixed up for me on pit road. Just got out here learning how this plate track stuff works. Don't really do this a whole lot, so just trying to keep my nose clean and I don't know, be around to the end, I suppose.
Currently running 5th. You're going to restart with about 20 laps to go. You got anything for the win?
Man, if I finish with all the 4 fenders on this thing, that's going to be a win for me.
Roger that. And kick you back down to the race channel, and good luck, man. Well, hopefully we'll talk to you later on.
Take care up there.
5th place driver Brent Roy in the number 26 Halmar machine, doing a great job with that Toyota Tundra. Just came off pit road, grabbed himself some tires. Looks like 2 tires stop and fuel there for the number 26 machine, as we are going to get ready to double these drivers back up.
As we watch that Hallmark International Toyota riding around here, could have given a nod to Stuart Friesen and the team. They allowed iRacing to come into the shop and do the laser scan of his dirt modified, and that was released. And Paul, what a blast to race those cars. And you know, it's so cool to see what happened after everybody got associated with Stuart Friesen running that number 44 on the dirt modified Super Tour. And yeah, it's just so fun. Have you tried that yet?
I have. I actually tried it this afternoon. I was able to give give that thing a shot, and man, it actually made me feel like I knew what I was doing, which was pretty cool. So, not really a dirt race. I love the idea of dirt racing, but I am just not good at it. I cannot figure it out. But with the new big blocks that the iRacing service has, a lot of cool stuff that just came out. The Diet iRacing Super Speedway that just came out as well. A little bit of a fantasy track from Blast from the Past there, from the Papyrus NASCAR Racing 2003. That just came out. It's pretty cool. I was running that as well, Kevin, this afternoon. 250 miles an hour in the Cup car. Holy smokes. You want to talk about action, definitely check that racetrack out.
Yeah, I missed that. That came out. I'm going to have to give that a run. I'm looking forward because I remember that track from back in the day. And is it the same track?
Same exact track. They were, I guess they rescanned the scanned model of the fantasy racetrack or something or other. But pretty much to a T, they don't have a title sponsor for the racetrack, so it's iRacing Super Speedway currently. Whether or not that's going to change in the future, I'm not really sure. But yeah, same track from way back when, the NASCAR Racing 2003 fantasy track, Coca-Cola Speedway as it used to be known as. But man, it was pretty fun. It was a lot of fun, a lot of racing grooves, and it's really a trainer for wreck avoidance. But green flag is back out, and you can see Chad Coleman, the kick-ass beef jerky ride on the outside, trying to work his way around Tanton Wooldridge in the 56, who stayed out under that last caution. And these guys all have fresher tires, fuel, everything ready to go. Richard Beasley trying to push that 56 machine up a little bit past these guys, but you can see Chad Coleman trying to work on the outside.
Yeah, Coleman has Horton on the back bumper. And you see Beasley working the inside and the back bumper at Woolridge. Gave him quite a shot to get him out front, but the top two coming, Horton pushing very hard on Coleman right now. Truck's still wobbling, buffering in the wind as they come through turns 3 and 4, but pushed down into the banking. The outside lane has a good run. Little loose for Beasley coming up off the corner. He jumps up, and that's going to give Coleman a little bit of a push as they're tight side by side coming through the trioval here back to the stripe. And Horton, he jumps to the outside and abandons the 38. I just think that truck became too much of a handful and he jumped out of lane.
That TD Bike truck having a little bit of trouble. Looks like he's moving on the outside. Just going to kind of let these drivers go on by. Try and regather his thoughts just a little bit and let the drivers fight for it up front. But there you can see Richard Beasley moved up to the top side, getting a huge push from the number 26 of Brent Roy, moving themselves down on the inside line. And you can see Chad Coleman, the number 38 kick-ass beef jerky truck, doing a great job on the outside as well, getting a push from Ryan Messer in the number 1.
Yeah, super smart choice there by Horton. If the truck is not right and it steps out, just let it go. You still got plenty of racing lines. Don't force it, as we see the 38 of Coleman to the outside now as the field drives by on the low lane.
Letting these drivers move on by. He's already worked his way up towards the front a couple of times now with a few different drivers. We saw with EJ O'Rourke earlier on as well. You can see EJ making his way into the screen, working his way up towards the top 10, trying to make something happen on that way outside line there. But unfortunately at this point has no help. So it's still Beasley out front, getting a big push there, a big shot from Brent Roy, the number 26 machine, and Ryan Messer, Tanton Wooldridge, and Quentin Carpenter right now as they run in the top 5.
Typical O'Rourke, just pedal down, wide open all the way around. He just runs like Kyle Busch every lap, just wide open all the way through. I think we know why the 38 dropped back. It tucked in right behind, and he's hooked up with O'Rourke as his new dancing partner because Coleman could not get to the 10, and they have a huge run. Jumping to the outside, here comes O'Rourke. He's at second, third. No, he's going to go through, take the lead. Just incredible. They look like they have 20 more horsepower in there.
We talked about it earlier. You get a couple of drivers that really practiced well together and they worked well together. They can really make something happen on the outside line, and you just saw it happen live here on Vidane TV. EJ O'Rourke getting the push from the 38 of Chad Coleman from about 80th all the way up to first. You see EJ O'Rourke going to dive on down low in front of Richard Beasley, who gives him a little bit of a bump, gets him a little bit squirrely, but they hold on to it. That's going to put EJ O'Rourke up front, Richard Beasley second, Chad Coleman and Brent Roy currently side by side for P3.
48 laps in the book of 66. Still a lot of racing to go with a 2.66 mile racetrack there's a lot of time till we see that checkered flag, but these drivers seem to be amping up the action after that last caution. And yeah, I'm nervous for this, right? You see all these drivers with these big runs, and yep, there it goes. 2 trucks at 27 sideways coming up the banking. Going to collect a couple trucks, and we'll go under yellow one more time here at Talladega.
There you see it, mid-pack, and coming out of the turn, bunch of trucks, unfortunately, all sorts of tore up, black smoke coming out of those trucks as well. So that's going to give us an opportunity to pull up the old instant replay, again sponsored by the Vidane TV Teespring store at teespring.com/stores/Vidane TV. And we'll rewind the tape, see if we can give you an instant replay, show you exactly what went down there to bring us out under caution again. I believe this is the, what is this, the 6th caution, I think?
It's either the 5th or the 6th. The Hoonigan truck was a hooligan. The 28 of Matthew Barkov's got down on the inside, tagged the left rear corner of the 27 to kick this one off. Just changing lanes there and misjudged the spacing.
Giving it to you live, you can focus in on the Barkhouse machine, and you can see there it is. 28 and 27, Ben, a TD Bank machine caught up in it, and you can see a lot of drivers doing a great job, able to sneak on by there. You saw Kyle Young go on by as well, but unfortunately a couple of other trucks just kind of caught up in the mayhem. There you can see the 73 machine pointing in the wrong direction. We saw him earlier on up towards the front. Unfortunately, he's holding the brakes right there, is letting the field go by. He's actually going to retire from the race. There he is on pit road. So a couple of big hits here back of the pack, but that's going to give these drivers an opportunity. We're probably going to restart with about 10 laps to go here, Kevin. And do you come down? Do you top off fuel? Do you get tires? What do you do at this point?
Well, certainly if you have damage and you want to come in and use that last restart or last reset, now's the time. You see the 09 coming down. His truck is smoking. And a couple other trucks, as you see Matthew Barkhouse go down. We saw Barkhouse sitting absolutely sideways in the scariest thing in the real world with the driver's side facing traffic, and nobody hit him. He was sitting absolutely dead sideways over there in turn number 1. I see Corey Reed in the number 27 got mixed up in that. He's in getting some service. We'll see whether he could reset that truck or whether he's done. But yeah, it's like smoke them if you got them time. If you got that reset, it's time to use it and see if you can race yourself up to a win.
Absolutely, and this may very well be the final pit stop for some of these drivers down on pit road right now. Gives us an opportunity to make a quick pit stop for ourselves. Going to take a quick word from our sponsors. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. We'll know if you leave.
Have you seen my kick-ass subscription box anywhere? Oh, there it is.
Hey, I'm CTWE Wrestler The Mac.
And I'm Showtime Stevie Stamos.
Have you ever dreamed of owning your own race car and taking it out for a test drive? Well, thanks to our friends at Rent a Race Car, you can!
Visit www.rentaracecarne.com for all the details on how you can take one of these babies out to Stafford Motor Speedway. We'll see you at the races.
Touchdown!
Back here live at Talladega Super Speedway, still under caution here. The 6th caution couple of drivers getting tore up and tangled in the middle of the pack. Taking a look right now, E.J. O'Rourke, Richard Beasley, Brent Roy, Chad Coleman, and Ryan Messer currently the top 5 here in the Tim's Corner Motorsports Special Edition, Special Event, Super Speedway style as we are running the SummerSlam Part 2. Ran this style, these trucks at Talladega here back in the summertime during the pandemic, during trying to get qualified here for the Tim's Corner Motorsports Showcase. Going to be later on in the spring of 2021 as these drivers are lined up now 2x2 pretty much all the way through this field. Lights are off on the iRacing pace car Mustang. Pretty excited to see what we've got here. Going to be coming to the line, lap number 53 of 66. A little bit better than 10 laps to go here at the SummerSlam Part 2. Coming around the backstretch, we made mention earlier today on Facebook over at the Vidane TV Facebook page, facebook.com/Vidane TV. If you're not already a fan, be sure to give us a like and subscribe, as well as all the social media outlets, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, all that good stuff. Check us out as well. But we made mention, we just opened up the brand new Teespring store. You can get yourself a hoodie, a t-shirt, a tank top, even a face mask with a Vidane TV logo to let everybody know that you're entertained by Vidane TV. And we made mention on the Facebook page, you're going to be getting some promo codes on air only that don't actually make it to print. So if you go to teespring.com/stores/Vidane TV, fill up that shopping cart with all sorts of Vidane TV merchandise and use the promo code TANGLEY, TANGLEY. Get yourself 10% off, and that's going to be a on-air only promo code. We're not going to put it on print anywhere in the social media. You got to watch Vidane TV and pick up on these little bit of little deals here. So pretty cool stuff. Lights are off in the pace car. Pace car is going to make that left-hand turn down pit road. E.J. O'Rourke on the inside. Richard Beasley on the outside. Coming down that long front straightaway. Going to see who's going to get the advantage as they head on down into turn number 1. But we got a long wait until we get there. Waiting for that green flag to come out. And you can see everybody bumper to bumper waiting. Late restart there, but a nice clean one. E.J. O'Rourke, Richard Beasley side by side. Green flag waves from the starter stand. You can see right now Beasley has a little bit of an advantage as he's got Chad Coleman. Oh, a little bit of a bump, a little bit of a wiggle for the Beasley machine. Bigger wiggle behind them. Bunch of cars, trucks, check that. Mike Alexander involved, 34, 38. Bunch of drivers involved here. Pointed in the wrong direction, collecting about 5 or 6 trucks there, Kevin.
Yeah, still a couple hits going on over there. What a shame. Mike Alexander, we haven't talked about him all night long, and there he was right in the mix in that. Just finally decided he was going to come up. But, all these drivers have been watching what's going on with Chad Coleman, Richard Beasley, and E.J. O'Rourke, and they know that they need to get up there and break those guys apart. And unfortunately for the 38, an incident occurred, and yep, it's go time. These drivers know it.
Going to be restarting with less than 10 laps to go here. There you see Noah Vaugier actually made the one truck just helicoptering himself down into the infield there. Looks like he's okay. I'm sure he's all right. But you see Noah Vaugier just got a little bit of a bump, gave a little bit of a bump there. He had a great run moving himself up towards the front of the pack in the middle lane, but unfortunately just not able to make it happen. I actually want to take a quick look here at the cockpit from the Ryan Messer machine, the number 1 truck. And man, oh man, that's one of the craziest wrecks I think we've seen here on Vidane TV in a very long time. See, minding his own business down here, checks off just a little bit. Turn from the back, hits the wall, and there you see, spins around at least 3 or 4 times, and lands looking at the outside wall, watching those trucks drive by. That is not the place you want to find yourself in, Kevin.
Yeah, I think he's rather dizzy after that one. I'm dizzy from that in-car view as everybody's collected to the pace car over here. And I know it seems like we're getting to the end of this 54 66 laps, but it still feels like there's a little more time. These drivers should just be a little cautious.
Definitely still time to be cautious, but it's also time to go as well. That's one of the fine lines here with Super Speedway Racing here at Daytona, Talladega. There you see Richard Beasley finally dipping on down pit road, as well as Chad Coleman, leaving Brent Roy and EJ O'Rourke up front. There you see the 88. We saw him leading up front with his partner in the 22, Tyler Hallahan, currently running third. Looks like everybody else is coming down pit road.
Everybody kind of just, they're at their in-game strategy. They have to figure out what's going on. As we see the 10 of Beasley, he drops in, fills it up with fuel, he's away. But the 38, his partner for much of the race, Chad Coleman in the kickassbeefjerky.com, Chandra, that truck, they've got the hammers out. They're trying to beat that back straight. They got part of it straight, but if they can get that left rear corner out, they'll get that right. As several other drivers taking the opportunity to pit. Ryan Messer in the 1 is over there. Corey Reed in the 27 getting some service as the 75 of Mike Alexander has reset his truck and coming out. See the 09 of Tony Wright. He is coming around the Sirius XM satellite radio Toyota Tundra. He is catching the back of the field. There's a lot of these drivers getting in for their service, getting the final fuel, and getting ready for battle one more time.
Taking a look at the field right now, there you can see a driver going around getting the lucky dog or the free pass award. EJ O'Rourke currently holding the clutch in down there on the bottom line. Does he have enough fuel to make it to the end? But he's leading out front. Brent Roy, Tyler Hallahan, Colin Matthews, and Bob Hutchings currently running in the top 5. Those drivers all pitted about 13 laps ago. And behind them, they've got Tanton Woolridge, Richard Beasley, Todd Tufts, Jason Goss, and Scott Drost. I believe that's the first time we've mentioned his name all night tonight, currently running in the top 10. Everybody lined up, single file here under caution. This is going to be the 7th caution, I believe. 6th caution checked out. We've only had 12 caution laps here tonight, and 21 lead changes, with the fastest lap being a 50.933. Absolutely blistering lap here at Talladega Super Speedway. And you can see these drivers coming up to the that huge front straightaway. That's where the race is going to be won and lost here, Kevin. A lot of times with other racetracks, big racetracks, small, short tracks, anything like that, you would pretty much know who's going to win the race right here, because you would come up where the pace car is. The start-finish line would be right in here somewhere, kind of right around that Geico Coca-Cola logo. But here at Talladega, all the way down here, a couple hundred yards past the center of that apex of the corner, there it is. Almost 3/4 of the way down to turn 1 to sell some seats down there when they originally built the Talladega Super Speedway there in Alabama. So it's definitely going to be an exciting race. We're going to be restarting with 9 laps to go as the lights are off on that pace car. Lining them up 2 by 2, Kevin. Let's see what we got.
Getting them ready to go to battle one more time. And yeah, just looking back here, I see one more truck that we have not talked about, the 41, the Suave for Men Silverado of Jason Gross. How about it? He's running 9th right now. Started 11th, kind of dropped back, been playing the save game, and that truck looks really clean, ready to do battle here towards the end.
Real clean race truck. We see Jason Goss do great on the short tracks, and pretty cool to see him do well here at the super speedways as well. Right behind him, you can actually see the number 24 Napa machine of Jake Goodwin, also another really good short track racer, doing a great job. Saw him in a little bit of trouble earlier on, but he's holding on to that 12th position.
Looks like we got 21 trucks on the lead lap, 2 trucks 1 lap down. That's the Potier and Wright truck 09 running 22nd, 23rd. 2 laps down is Ryan Messer in the number 1. Quentin Carpenter in the 18 is also 2 laps down, and a couple other drivers back there have had a rough night. Both the Tatry trucks, Andrew and Nathan, are 6 laps down as we get ready for the restart. The pace car running through turn number 3, coming to turn number 4. And you're right, when you come down this straightaway, you think, well, whoever's leading off turn 4, they're probably going to win it. But there's so much racetrack and real straight from turn 4 down to through the tri-oval to the start-finish line that a lot of races are lost and won on this straightaway right here and through that corner. And it's anybody's race. You got to watch it to the start finish line here at Talladega. And right now, EJ O'Rourke, he's out in front of the field. He's got Brent Roy to the outside in the Hallmark truck. And EJ revving the motor, getting ready for the restart. He can see the flag stand, and he's going to kick it off. The truck dips down as he comes up through the gears. O'Rourke off to turn number 1. Good start for Brent Roy, holding even. He comes down to side draft a little bit as Tyler Hallahan is going to push O'Rourke out to an early lead coming out of turn number 1.
Saw Hallahan work really well with the number 22 truck earlier on. The 22 caught up. That's going to be Greg Snellgrove, caught up in an early race caution. And unfortunately back in the 20th, check that 19th position. His partner in crime, though, the 18, Tyler Hallahan, doing a great job on the back bumper of EJ O'Rourke in the 41 Trans-Service Silverado. And you can see Brent Roy up top getting a push from Richard Beasley and that tied at 10 machine as well. So some of these drivers know that it's time to go, and they're trying to get a real good push. The outside is just bumper to bumper. They're really, you can't even put a really piece of paper in between those two trucks. And you can see in the inside line, Kevin, these drivers aren't quite closed up. There you can see the number 15 a machine of Bob Hutchings. He's going to move up to the high line. He sees that's the line that's going to move. As soon as he gets there, though, Brent Roy dips down low, brings Richard Beasley with him, give the 1-2 spot to Brent Roy, Richard Beasley.
Hutchings should signify that it's time to go. He was riding off the back of the pack, but now with just a handful of laps, you see him coming through to try and race his way into the victory. Ryan Walsh in that number 19, you commented on that super bright neon truck. That truck has gone through a reset, and he's sitting right back there. So now these drivers have used their resets. It's full court press to see if they can get the win, but up front, it continues to be O'Rourke and Beasley leading the way.
A couple of drivers we haven't talked about all night long. Mike Rhino in the number 34 machine getting a big push from Magic Mike Alexander there in the 75 truck. 23 Red Bull Toyota right behind them as well. That's Joey Stiers. You can see Richard Beasley gets up to the middle line, gets a push from EJ O'Rourke trying to get around Brent Roy, but that's going to give the lead slightly to Mike Rhino, who's got a huge push from Mike Alexander. 3 wide for second place. These guys are bumper to bumper. 88 says, no, I think we're going to move up into this mix as well. We're going to push the 26 all the way up to the back bumper of the number 10 machine. Currently, you can see the 34 truck is clear, but he's going to try and bring his partner, the number 75, Mike Alexander, with him.
Roy says, don't forget about me. I'm on the inside, and I'm going to the front. Here comes Hallahan, pushing him from the low line. Outside, it's Beasley, O'Rourke, Coleman hooked up in that middle lane, and the outside lane drops back a little bit. Rhino lost a little momentum out of turn number 4. Look at the number 56 truck. First time we've talked about Trenton Woolridge entering into the fray. He's sitting there in that 7th position, looking for any opening to see if he can get the victory here tonight at Talladega.
And look who it is in 8th spot, number 93, Kyle Young. Where the crap did he come from? Bent bumper and all, caught up in a couple of incidences earlier on, moving his way up towards the front, seeing he's getting the draft from the number 24 of Jake Goodwin, that Napa Auto Parts truck. Kyle knows it's time to go. Going to be coming to the drive, coming to the line, rather easy enough for me to say. Coming to the line, the flag man's going to show him a handful. 5 laps to go here at Talladega Super Speedway.
Couple lap trucks slow on the apron. They're down on the flat to keep away from everybody. And I'm watching that 75 truck. Right off the back end of this group is Mike Alexander. They do realize, a couple of these drivers, that they have no more resets. And it is possible that with 5 to go, some trouble could become of that front pack with everybody not giving an inch. And I see some of these drivers just trying to make sure that they have a little bit of a buffer till they get to about 2 to 3 to go. As I see the 15 truck of Hutchings jump to the outside lane, try to give himself a little space. He had a good run on Jason Goss in the 41. Didn't want to run him over and took evasive action as Mike Rhino in the 34 is pressing that outside lane to try and get themselves past the number 10 truck of Beasley, who's leading out front.
A lot of times at this point in the race, you'd see everybody single file waiting to see who's going to make a move, but we're already 2 by 2. We're going to end up seeing a third line develop here, Kevin, with the last 5 laps. Check that, last 4 laps. to go here at the Tim's Corner Motorsports SummerSlam Part 2. As you can see, Richard Beasley currently leading on the inside, E.J. O'Rourke on the outside, and a lot of fast drivers up here. The 88 is quick, the 93, all these drivers up front. Top 15, 16 drivers pretty much right in the same pack. You can give the winner to pretty much anybody on your screen right now because we have no idea with 5 laps to go here at Talladega.
Everybody's running on the knife's edge, and I have to say that I'm looking at that Brent Roy truck saying, whatever happens towards the end, that truck has been fast and an outstanding run here tonight at Talladega, giving them all they're going to know he's here. Let's just hope he can find his way to the checkered flag here. As the 24 of Jake Goodwin on the outside could be the spoiler. He's tucked in behind Chad Coleman, trying to push that high line. E.J. O'Rourke always hard on the pedal. He's on the outside lane of Beasley. And, as he comes down trying to draft that 10 truck, holding him tight to the yellow line, Beasley has to have a ton of trust for E.J. O'Rourke to be out there.
Absolutely, and you can see Chad Coleman, the 38, pushing 41 of E.J. O'Rourke. They're going to work together for a couple of laps here, but you can bet that Chad Coleman wants this win. He wants to try and complete the sweep, wants to try and go into the Sim 500 Vidane Racing Super Speedway Series later on tonight for the Rent a Race Car 150. Also here at Talladega, he wants to try and win both of these races, but you can see E.J. O'Rourke, Richard Beasley, Brent Roy, Kyle Young, all trying to make the double, trying to make the sweep, starting both races here tonight on Vidane TV. Coming to the stripe, 3 for Dale, 3 laps to go. E.J. O'Rourke currently leading Richard Beasley and Brent Roy.
It says looking good going sideways on the back of the Matthew Barkhouse truck, and that's what it looked like out of turn number 4 last time. He cut that truck hard left. He was surging from the back. One of the drivers on the charge here in the late going, trying to see if he can get himself up there. We've seen drivers win from 13th with just a handful of laps to go, but yeah, it's going to be so hard to wrestle away from some of these guys who've been running up front all night.
You can see everybody kind of single file at this point, but there you see Chad Coleman, Jake Goodwin, the 24, there on the outside, trying to get their bumpers lined up, coming to the finish here. There you can see 56 has moved his way back up into the top 5 after pitting late, right behind the number 88 machine, coming to the checkered flag, coming to the stripe, rather. Popsicle sticks in the air. 2 laps to go. Talladega Speedway, top 5 are single file, side by side for 6 right now. Kyle Young and Chad Coleman.
2 to go, 2 to go, 2 to go. Coleman, the outside lane stalled. He's trying to get it organized to see if he can get a run down here on the back straightaway to come up. Beasley going to jump out of line, come to the outside. I don't know if that was on purpose. Roy going to go with him. They're going to drive around. The E.J. O'Rourke truck is big momentum on the bottom. Everybody comes together, but that outside lane, the damage is done. Beasley out front. He takes Roy with him.
Oh, big wreck.
Coleman.
Sorry to cut you off there, Kevin. Oh, there is the big one. That's going to give us a green-white checkered, but holy moly, that right there, Kevin, tore up a whole lot of trucks. We're going to take a quick look here at the teespring.com/shops/Vidane TV instant replay. We're going to have to see if we can get a shorter URL or maybe a shorter graphic. That's a mouthful to say all that, but we'll take a look here from the chopper and see exactly what went down. Hard racing here with 2 laps to go, and you can bet that that's going to reflect here in this instant replay, and we'll focus in. We don't quite know exactly what happened, but you can see 3-4 wide here, 23 down low, check that, 28 I believe, trying to work his way up, gets into the back of the 88, and there you can see the 24 truck gets around. 93 gets tagged a couple of times, but he's still up there, made his way through. A few blown up trucks here as well. A lot of black smoke coming out of the 34, the 23 Red Bull Toyota. So tough break for those guys. Mike Rhino here, you can see him on your screen as well. So tough break for a lot of these guys. Looks like Mike Alexander may have very well squeaked his way on down low. Great job by him and his spotters as he's able to avoid. But there you can see the 5th place truck as they were running the 56 machine. He's got some black smoke coming out of the back of that truck as well. So, man, that's a late race wreck, Kevin. You got to look out for him because, unfortunately, just took out a lot of fast trucks with a couple laps to go.
Yeah, and that's the advantage for some of these drivers who were trying to be up front, and they were being aggressive, and they drove themselves out front of the melee. And yep, same, different drivers. Teespring.com/Vidane TV. Paul, it'll get you right there.
Perfect. We'll have to We'll have to redo our graphics because that's a whole lot less to have to say. But the lights are still on the top of the pace car. Going to give these drivers an opportunity. You can see right now on your screen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 trucks that were able to make it through that little bit of calamity there. Nobody involved up front in that caution. You can look on pit road. Whole bunch of trucks.
Yeah. There's smoke, there's hammers, there's banging, there's crashing. There's a lot of trucks tore up over there on pit road.
A lot of swearing as well.
Night for a lot of these drivers.
Oh yes, in a virtual sense, using the fake money as it's worded. But taking a look right now, Richard Beasley still out front. Brent Roy P2, Chad Coleman third. EJ O'Rourke, who was leading the race, he's currently fourth. Scott Draws, haven't mentioned his name too much. He's currently running in the top 5. There you saw Kyle Young, made his way through that wreck. He's in 6th. Nick Codner, haven't talked about him too much either. He's in the 54.
In the DC Auto Tundra.
Yeah, I don't think we've talked to him very much. And you can see the 88, Tyler Hallahan. He was strong earlier on. Jason Goss 9th. And Colin Matthews rounding out the top 10.
Godner started 4th and has just been absent the whole race. But now here at the end, he's where it needs to be when it matters. You know, on that overhead shot, Paul, we saw one truck down below the yellow line. Looked like it had advanced its position just prior to the yellow coming out. The crash over there in turn 3, and we see Matthew Barkhouse given an end of longest line penalty, yellow line infraction.
Now that's going to make his mind up. You can see him right now on pit road, currently scored a 13th, getting some work done on that truck. So tough break there, and you know, it's one of those things that everybody knows you need to really stay above that yellow line. So that Hoonigan machine getting some work done on pit road. But it's still Richard Beasley's game up front. Looks like we're lining them up side by side as the... nope, just kidding. Lights are still on in the pace car.
5 attempts at a green-white checkered. We're going to overtime. We're working lap 67 of a 66-lap race. And expect the lights to go out on the pace car this time. We crashed a lot of trucks there, but there's still a good number of machines that can come up here and run in the draft and sneak away a win. But what is it going to take to beat that number 10 Beasley truck? That Tide truck has been strong all night long.
Absolutely. A lot of strong trucks up front. Beasley, you've got the 26 of Brent Roy, EJ O'Rourke, Chad Coleman. Drivers that are no stranger to super speedway racing, no stranger to sim racing, and no stranger to these broadcast races here on Vidane TV. But green-white checkered attempt here, Kevin. If we were going to make a pick, I would say, if I was a betting man, we'd make a pick. I'll let you make the first pick here.
I've just been completely impressed with Roy over there in that second position. I'm going to go with the 26 tonight.
Looking right now, just taking a look at the top 10 drivers kind of side by side there, you can see I'm going to go with the number 38 Kick-Ass Beef Jerky Tundra of Chad Coleman. We've seen him win a couple of races here on Vidane TV over at Sim 500. Very quick driver as well in the Kick-Ass Beef Jerky Classic Cup Series that you can catch here on Vidane TV. So I'm going to say Chad Coleman takes the win here from Beasley in that 38.
That is a softball. Come on now. We've seen him win so many races that you can never count that 38 truck out. But you know what? He's got some stiff competition right there. And in the restrictor plate world, anything can happen. And as they say, it often does. Lights are out on the pace car. We're about to go back. Remember, five shots at a green-white checkered. If they don't get back to the white flag, we'll re-rack them and set them again. But hopefully we're going to see green to the finish and see something amazing happen over here off of the front straightaway as Beasley, your leader one more time. Pace car comes down to the yellow line, just about to turn left and retreat to pit road. Leave the field to Richard Beasley in the Tide number 10. On his outside, Brent Roy. Strong run all night. Can he get there to victory lane? As they roll through here, they're anticipating the start. Everybody trying to see if they can get that timing just perfectly. You hear the 10 wrapping the throttle, and now he's hammered down going off into turn number 1. Good start for Beasley, but Roy hanging right tough on the number.
This is going to be an absolute drag race. The 10's getting help from Chad Coleman on the inside. Brent Roy on the outside getting a huge push from E.J. O'Rourke. And don't look now, Nick Codner, the number 54, trying to get around and win a Tim's Corner Motorsports event for the fellow Canadians. But right now, a couple of ringers up there, the Super Speedway drivers, Richard Beasley, Brent Roy, who runs Tim's Corner Motorsports, Chad Coleman, E.J. O'Rourke, Nick Codner, top 5, 6th place. Tyler Hallahan, there you see him in the 88 machine. Throw a blanket over them. They're all over each other, bumper to bumper, side by side, door to door, trying to make something happen. Coming to the white flag, white rag. Everybody's going to, well, they were going to try and line up single file there, Kevin. Crossing the stripe here. Coming down that long front straightaway, crossing the stripe. White flag is in the air. The next flag is going to end the race. Richard Beasley leads them as they go into turn number 1. Chad Coleman second. Tyler Hallahan currently running third.
O'Rourke drops down. He's going to try and jump into line and see if he can get some momentum going forward as he left the Codner, number 54. They're side by side for third position, the 88 out high. It looks like these drivers trying to organize, get a good run down the backstretch on the inside. They're going to jump out when we get back to the other side. O'Rourke peeks out, but now he comes to the back bumper of Brent Roy. He's just beating on that bumper going through the corner. Here comes the 38 stepping out. He's going to turn sideways. Beasley's going to go to the wall. Roy down to the inside.
Big wreck up front for the leaders. Chad Coleman still leading. It looks like the 88's down low, but he's below the yellow line. He's going to cross the stripe first. But does that mean he's going to get DQ'd? We'll have to check with Tim Terry, the race official, on that. But holy moly, with that finish, we'll back that up for an instant replay for sure. Brought to you by our Teespring store. Check that out, teespring.com/VidaneTV. That'll get you where you need to be. But holy moly, the close racing up front. We're going to take a look from the chopper view and see just what it was that went down, and focus in on the leaders here, because that's where the mayhem happened. You can see the 38 gets just a little bit of a push from the 26 as he goes up high and clips Beasley in the round. You can see the 41 gets by just fine, but unfortunately gets caught up when he tries to get, he gets shot by the 54 machine of Codner, and there you can see the 88 and the 38 drag race back to the line. 88 down low, 38 up high. We'll get the official word here from race officials to find out exactly the final running order. But we'll give that an opportunity to kind of sort itself out. We'll come back with the top 3 for the post-race interviews and go through the running of the field when we come back. Don't go anywhere. Like I said, we'll be right back.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
CTWE wrestler The Mac.
And I'm Showtime Stevie Stamos.
Have you ever dreamed of owning your own race car and taking it out for a test drive? Well, thanks to our friends that Rent a Race Car, you can!
Visit www.rentaracecarne.com for all the details on how you can take one of these babies out to Stafford Motor Speedway. We'll see you at the races.
Touchdown!
Have you seen my kick-ass subscription box anywhere? Oh, there it is.
And there you have it, folks. The officials have made the word of passing the grass doesn't make it happen. But 38 Chad Coleman, the Kick-Ass Beef Jerky Toyota Tundra, gonna be your winner here tonight as he crossed the line second. But you got to be on top of that yellow line. So the official win's gonna go to the 38 machine, Chad Coleman. We caught up with him here in Victory Lane. Chad, what a great race, man. We've already cracked a couple of beers, gonna celebrate here pretty hard. Talk us through that race, man.
That was an interesting race. They got crazy on the last lap right there, but we had a lot of fun. So thanks to Tim for putting us still on tonight. That was a lot of fun.
A lot of action there on the last restart. Green flag, green-white checker there. Richard Beasley up towards the front. He's kind of hanging out here. A little congratulatory fist bump in the shoulder, kind of hard there. It shows us Beasley's okay. That was a hard hit there. But, man, just walk us through that last restart.
I was going to push Beasley until we come off of 4 and then race him, drag race down the front straightaway. And I saw that Brent and EJ had a run coming, so I was like, well, maybe if I go high, they'll go with me. And initially Brent did, but he told me too. He's like, well, I was going to go with you, and then I changed my mind, and I was going back down to go with Beasley, and as he turned down, he hooked me. And I saved it somehow, I think partially with some help from the right rear of Beasley. The Beasley truck as he went sailing into the grandstands. So it's always good when you can see the time truck fly.
Well, he was having a good clean run up until that point, but man, it's we can thank Kick-Ass Beef Jerky for the 38 machine. Apparently, we can thank the number 10 truck of Richard Beasley as well. Who else makes it happen for the Chad Coleman ride?
Yeah.
That's about it. I just thank y'all for broadcasting Tim for the race, and we'll go do this again here in a couple of minutes at Talladega once more with some no plates.
Yep, no plates, 45 minutes away, talking about the Sim 500 Vidane Racing Super Speedway race, the Rental Race Car 150, right here at Talladega Speedway on Vidane TV, and Chad has the opportunity to win a Vidane TV hooded sweatshirt if he wins the next race from the brand new Teespring store, teespring.com/stores/Vidane TV if you want to get your own merchandise. But we're going to kick it over to Kevin. Kevin's caught up with a P2 driver, Jason Goss, in that number 41 machine.
Well, Jason, I think the word uneventful describes the evening here. In a second place finish, how about that for a surprise?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad.
We saw you come off 7th, and then we saw that melee happen out of turn number 4, and then you guys got together coming through the tri-oval, and lo and behold, you squirted out and got second. Not a bad night's work. You just got to keep pushing all the way to the finish, don't you?
Yeah, I seen Nick there in front, my teammate, and I was just trying to push him over the line. That was it. I was just concentrating on getting him across. And that's how it all worked out.
So you ended up being in that melee towards the end, right up there. How did your strategy play out for this race? Were you riding in the back? Were you trying to run through the field all the way? We called your name here and there, but for the most part, it looked like you were running a defensive race until the end when it was time to go.
Yeah, myself and Nick and Ryan, we just had a plan to hang out in the back and just try to stay out of trouble. And kind of worked out.
You always kind of represent my favorite kind of driver, the sneaky one who comes in here and steals away a win or at least a podium finish. And congratulations on that second place. You want to say hello to anybody here on the broadcast?
Just thank my sponsors, thank DC Auto for being on board, and I thank everyone for putting this off. Tim and Mike James doing a good job with the eastbound one, and it's all good.
Well, he kept his right foot on the floor and came out of that tri-oval in second position. And there he is, Jason Goss, your second place finisher tonight. Here to celebrate, Jason, as we turn it to Paul, who's caught up with our third place driver.
All good in the hood, like it be should. Down here with Nick Codner in the third position. Started up towards the front end, the fourth spot, finished in the podium, finished on top, finished in the Vidane TV post-race show interview. Man, walk us through that race, Nick.
Holy crap, guys. I'm so amazed right now. That was You know, we whole planned to chill out in the back, me and Jason, and we got Ryan to hook on with us, and you know we chilled in the back the entire race, and I pretty much tried to do what I did during quarantine in this race and try to go up there and win at the end. And me and Jason got there, and you can't push in the trial. We tried to push in the trial, and he just turned me, which was obviously didn't really matter to me because we were just going for the win then. And you know what, for teammates to finish 2-3 in this race is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, great run between you and Jason, and we're taking a look at the last lap right now. A lot of side-by-side, door-to-door action. Just that last lap coming to the checkered after the green-white checkered restart there. Man, just exciting racing throughout the entire front stretch. Cars up high, cars down low, cars passing in the grass. Couple of Beasley up in the wall. But just talk about the excitement on that last lap.
Believe it or not, I actually didn't see much. I kind of went to the outside lane with 2 to go, and I thought someone was going to go with me, and I just kind of fell back to about 7 or 8th, and Jason, I knew he was coming up there somewhere, and we got on the back straightaway going through 3 and 4, and we were up in the 3rd lane, and I just seen cars going everywhere, and we're just going through the tri-oval, and I'm just absolutely shocked right now. And then obviously we came home podium position. We almost had a chance to win that thing. If Jason got me square, we would have won the race. So overall, what a great finish and a crazy ending for sure.
Awesome race here, Nick, and congratulations in the top 3. Who makes it happen for the number 54 machine?
First off, again, my parents, they do so much for me for iRacing real life, and I wouldn't be here without them, and I just want to thank them so much for everything they do for me. Obviously, the sponsors on the race car, DC Auto, which is Doug Critch up in Alberta, M&R Performance, Michael Neary, couldn't be racing tonight, wish he was here with us, Winco Flags, his dad, and obviously Jason Goss, my teammate, for pushing me through this one, and also Ryan Walsh tagged on this evening.
Awesome. And again, congratulations, Nick, on a great top 3 run here. 3rd place for the Tim's Corner Motorsports SummerSlam Part 2.
Hey, Paul.
Hey, Tim.
We already have, I see Jason and Nick just left. Chad's already locked into the Sim 500 show. Do we got a couple of spots for a couple of teammates for the show coming up if they want to stick around?
Absolutely. We can make that happen and give these guys an opportunity to race for a win over at Sim 500 Vidane TV and running the old bracket racing there. If you win, you're in, locked into the championship as long as you can hold on to the top 30 over there, and gives these guys an opportunity to go for the custom Pro-Am belt, custom championship belt for the winner of that. So if those guys want to do this dance again, absolutely more than welcome to.
I see they already hopped out, but we'll see. It's late over there in Newfoundland. It'll be, I think, midnight by the time we get going over there, so it might be a little bit past their bedtime, but decent show. As you saw at the end, we had a no yellow line / yellow line rule tonight. We told the boys that there is no yellow line rule unless you pass underneath the yellow line or you wreck somebody coming underneath the yellow line. We popped 4 drivers with that tonight, including the 88. Talked to Tyler. Tyler's all good on that. Heat of the moment, trying to win a race, but congratulations to Chad Coleman, Jason Goss, Nick Codner. Heck, Brent Roy was in the top 5 at the end of that one too. So Chad locks into the showcase, and Kevin, I'll let you finish this one off because we got a race to do here in about 30-40 minutes.
Just enough time to get ourselves a cup of coffee, a donut, and get ready back into it. And we're going to go reload our kick-ass beef jerky stock. As Paul, it's been an exciting night, exciting finish as usual, and can't wait to sign up and do it again.
For sure. About 30 minutes left to showtime for the race number 2 of the evening. Gives you enough opportunity to head on over to teespring.com/store/Vidane TV. Pick yourself up a long sleeve t-shirt, a sweatshirt, a tank top, or even a face mask with a Vidane TV logo, and let everybody know that you watch racing here and you are entertained by Vidane TV. That's going to wrap us up for Tim's Corner Motorsports. Like Kevin said, grab yourself a coffee, a donut. I'm going to go grab a couple of beers because it's not breakfast time right now. We're going to come right back for the Sim 500 Vidane Racing Super Speedway Series race number 4, the Rent a Race Car 150, again right here at Talladega. We'll catch you in about a half hour.